sending you in deep, so be on your guard. Scanners indicate particularly rich veins of morkite and gold further down. Bring it back, boys.
Heave ho for rock and stone. Bend your backs to take your gold. Dark and dirt is what we know. Deep in rock is where we go. Tunnel long, all the while I'll sing this song. There's dirt to shift and bugs to hit. I wouldn't trade any of it. Bugs that fly and bugs that crawl in the air and on the wall. Web and acid, shell and bone. Watch that ball dead for she blows. Heave ho for rock and stone. Bend your backs to take your gold. Dark and dirt is what we know. Deep in rock is where we go. Sugar red to take the pain. Platform up that nitra vein. Sand and boots and snow in beard. Hoxie's has it all right here. Heave ho for rock and stone. Bend your backs to take your gold. Dark and dirt is what we know. Deep in rock is where we go. Behind, call that resupply. You don't rock and stone, you ain't coming home. Leave no dwarf behind, call that resupply. Rock and stone, rock and stone, dwarf is coming home.
Hi, welcome to On the Horizon. I'm Søren, CEO of Ghost Ship Games, and
I am Mikkel, and I am CCO of Ghost Ship Games, and also game director of Deep Rock Galactic and Rogue Core, which we're going to talk much more about later.
So many titles.
So many titles, yes.
Yes. Oh, we're very excited to be here today to tell you about all the stuff that is happening and has happened at Ghost Ship, but mostly looking forward into the future for both Ghost Ship Games and publishing.
Yes, we got a very meaty program for you today. A lot of information is going to be spilled.
Yes, and we'll try to make it slightly tighter than usual. We'll see if we can keep up or time will slide.
I think also we are going to have more people up here.
Yes.
Normally it has been you and I who has been like sitting through the whole ordeal, and this time around we are actually changing people in and out.
Yes, we'll have I think a record number of people calling in and being part of this live stream. But we should get started with the agenda, so you can all see what's going on. So the welcome, that's what we are doing right now.
Yeah, and after the welcome, we are going to move over to a Ghost Ship publishing segment. I will not be part of that. Alex will take my seat.
Yes.
And then the two of you will talk with some of the studios, or most of the studios that we actually are publishing games for. We'll see how they're doing.
Yes, including a nice surprise that we will start out with. After that, we'll have a merchandise showcase. As you may have seen, we posted a little bit about this. Finally, we got a new merchandise line lined up for you. Aaron and Alex will walk you through all the cool stuff, including a reveal of another special thing that will happen.
So many special things
is
going to happen today. Yeah, very exciting. And then last but not least, I'm Mike, the lead designer of Deep Rock Galactic and Rogue Core, is going to join me up here, and then we are going to talk a lot about Rogue Core.
Yeah, that's going to be the last big chunk of this whole live stream, with the possibility for people to ask questions as well, right?
Yes, and I think we are going to have a small sneak peek video from the game. We are going to have footage. We're going to have more video. We're going to have a live demo within Unreal where we're going to showcase enemies and whatnot. So a lot of stuff. So stay tuned for that.
And just looking briefly back to this year, we had Season 5 for Deep Rock Galactic. OG Deep Rock Galactic came out June, before summer, and it broke all the player records once again, and turned out to be more or less exactly what you wanted. Of course, we know you want more, and we know you are sitting out there waiting for, hopefully, a Season 6 one day. As we announced last on the horizon, we are working on Rogue Core right now, and that means Deep Rock Galactic in general, development-wise, is on a kind of a pause, right? Yeah. And there's no decision on what we'll do until we have Rogue Core in the bag.
It's all focused on Rogue Core right now.
We want to release that, of course, and I know. Well, we announced Rogue Core, I guess, a year ago, and we were slightly optimistic on the development time back then.
Well, we didn't factor in at that time. We also thought that maybe we were naive in our view on that. We thought we could manage to do both seasons and work on Rogue Core at the same time, and that turned out to be almost impossible for us.
So we decided to do Season 5 full on. Everybody got that out, and then focus back on Rogue Core. It means that Rogue Core is still now on target for Q4 next year. We'll get more on that later in the stream.
But and before that, we are looking into a closed alpha or something, or open alpha, or whatever, something where you get to play it.
This is also to say, if you're sitting out there and hoping to see all kinds of new stuff for the original Deep Rock Galactic, it'll mostly be the merchandise part that will satisfy you there. But we have other exciting news. We moved into this new location here. You might be able to see that the live streaming looks slightly different. Basically have a new gigantic office compared to where we came from, 3 times as big.
We were sitting in a very tight space before. I don't know, do we have an image of that? Or no,
but we have some images of the new office, how it looked before we moved in. Maybe, Mark, you... No, not yet.
No, but we have a video, but we are not rolling that yet because we're just basically everyone at Ghost Ship Games are super excited about the new place, and the fact that we actually have way more space than before is just generally just makes it way more nice to go to work every day. And we are still in the center of Copenhagen.
Very central Copenhagen.
So very nice location.
And the actual office, this floor we're sitting on, used to be an infamous nightclub 20 years ago or so.
Called NASA, which to stay in the space theme of Deep Rock Galactic.
All right. So, Mark, are you ready with some...
So Aaron and Alex have earlier today made a walk around on the office, and we'll show that to you now, and then you can get a small feel of the new space that we are in.
Hello everyone, I'm Aaron from Ghost Ship Games. We're standing here on the 5th floor terrace of the Ghost Ship Games headquarters in beautiful Copenhagen, Denmark. It's a lovely, elegant city full of places and things to see and do, but right here there's only one place that matters, and that's the Ghost Ship Games headquarters. Here on the terrace is where we pour hot oil and throw rocks at defenders or passersby, but the real action is what happens inside. Let's take a look. It's very important to wipe your feet because the place is new. All right, so as you can see, there's some mess around from various setups as well as we're still moving in. It's a process. Over here is where we're going to have a cool streaming room. Once we get our decks together enough for that, we're moving right along. This is where we eat lunch. Lunch is one of the 3 meals of the day, and it's a very important one. We have some gifts from other studios, which is very kind of them. We just had a housewarming party, which is a lot of fun. We've got Jacob, who's being shy. We've got a coffee machine over there. We've got tons of silverware. We've got a hand sanitizer that's not just for show. It really works. Let's take a look downstairs. Now, the cool thing about these stairs is not only can you go down them, but you can also go up them as well. But today, as you can see, we're going down them. I don't know if you're able to see the camera, but we also have a loud corridor, or what's it called? This is an open atrium, and our neighbors are like a trivia show, and then also like a mini golf bar. And the bar opens at like 2 p.m. And so sometimes you can just hear them playing like Pitbull from upstairs, which is fun. We're here on one of the third floor here. This is one of our production floors. Alex, do you have your keys on you?
I do, Aaron.
Fuck yeah, let's go check out this. Can we swear on this? I guess we are. Anyway, we've got some movement nest here, some extra screens, some tech and things like this. And in here is one of the cool pieces of hardware. Does my chip work, or does yours? My chip doesn't work. Alex, we need your chip. Oop. Got it. All right, we're in. We're not in. Is it this key? Which one is it? We rehearsed this. This was part of it.
Try the key fob again, Aaron.
Okay. We're in. Fuck. All right, anyway, there's a bunch of servers in there. And the servers are a complicated piece of machinery, and we use them to monitor each and every game you play in Deep Rocket Galactic. And right when the match is going well, that's when we spawn in a bulk detonator and a bunch of Macteras. This is one of our production floors going on. This building actually used to be a big old nightclub some years back. So this is one of the production floors. We've got computers and keyboards for typing on them. We got coders. I don't really know what coders do, but I guess they code. We got some admin. We've got Bjorn. Bjorn does QA. Got QA and admin over here. Let's see, what else we got? We've got one balcony out there, which you can use for hanging out, catching a tan, lifting weights, flying kites, whatever you like. Over here, and this is where I need your help. So we have this space. As you can see, we haven't really found a good solution for it, because it's kind of, the ceiling's weird, it's a strange space. Anyway, to all of you out there, if you're watching this, please leave a comment with any ideas on what we can use this for, because honestly, we don't have a clue. All right, here's your keys back, by the way, Alex. Now, earlier I was talking about those stairs that you can go both up and down, and this one actually works the exact same way, and today we're using it to go up. We're heading up onto one of the other production floors, which is a much sunnier one, and especially at this time of year when the sun shines directly in your eyes in the morning, which is very nice for lighting. But as you can see, if I stand right here and try and narrate this video, it's directly in my eyes. So I'm going to move slightly into the shadows, and we can get this big view of the floor. We've got all my colleagues who are so happy. Hey, colleagues! Say hi! Hi! Thanks, colleagues! So, yeah, we've got, this is marketing. This is my desk, where I type and post Steam blogs and stream from. Let's see, what else we got going on? This is where a lot of artists sit up here, programmers, coders, things like that. You know, nerds. What do we got? We're going to go up the fire entry. This is for somebody else. Alex, do you have the keys for this so we don't get it locked out? And this, I'll show you, chat, this is a fun one. If you want to go home early, the bosses don't want you to know this, you can pull this lever and it's a go home early button. Pretty cool feature. So this leads up to the helipad. Every Ghost Ship employee has a helicopter that gets them at their house and flies us to work each morning. It used to be a fire escape, but now we've built that. All right. Now we're going back up here, and if I can get this key to work, I said if I can get this key to work, we got it, baby. We've come back full circle onto the 5th floor. Let me close this door. And yeah, that's the new digs. We moved in here in late August, been a move-in process. It's what, November? So we're still getting settled in. We're super happy for it. And I guess that's time. So let's go on to the rest of the segment. Thanks, chat.
Oh,
Thanks, Aaron.
that was a nice tour. I think he was understating it a little bit how cool the place is.
Yes. No, that was a cool tour. Good to see everything. on camera like that. So now you have a little bit of an idea about this new amazing office that we have.
But now we are moving on to our next Ghost Ship Publishing segment.
Yes.
And I'm going to leave you until we're going to talk about Rogue Core later. And I'm going to welcome Alex here. So, bye for now.
Bye, Mikkel. And
Thank you, Mikkel.
welcome to you, Alex.
Thank you. Thanks, Søren. It's great to be here. And hi, everyone out here. Some of you might already know me. I'm Alex, head of publishing over here at Ghost Ship Publishing, which we announced a little over a year ago, I think it is now.
A year and a half.
A year and a half ago.
Time flies.
It feels like much longer.
Yeah.
So we released our first 2 games 10 months ago.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah.
A little over
February this year.
Yeah.
SpellRogue and Deep Rock Survivor.
Yeah. It's been a very busy 2024.
And Alex, next year will be busier.
This is great.
That's why you are on the team there.
Absolutely. That's so me and Søren and Mikkel have been running Ghost Ship Publishing for a while. We're now 4 people in Ghost Ship Publishing, and we are getting a lot of stuff to do. We have 5 announced projects that you probably already know by now, and we're ready to announce another one.
Yes.
Let's see the trailer.
Let's see the new game that we'll.
That is so cool. I love this game so much. And of course, welcome to Martin and Lars from GameSwing. Great that you can be there. Martin and Lars,
Thank you very much, Alex.
We played this game a bunch while it's still in development over here at Ghost Ship, but could you please tell everybody who's watching what is Guntouchables?
Yes, of course. Thank you so much for inviting us, and I will present the game a little bit. It's an online co-op doomsday roguelike, and you play as a group of preppers that have been preparing for this their whole life. So this disaster is built for them. You are kind of going out collecting resources and upgrading your characters in preparation for this big fight in the end of the game. And the gameplay is kind of like Nuclear Throne meets Left 4 Dead, where there's a heavy emphasis on the teamwork, and you gotta both play well individually, but you also have to keep making sure your team is doing well. You don't want to stick in the levels too long, because then you get overrun by mutants, as you see, but you also want to stick around long enough for them, for you to collect enough upgrades to be strong enough to make it through the whole game to the final boss. Martin wants to talk a little bit more about this risk-reward balance there is in the game.
All right. Yeah. Thanks, Lars. So yeah, on the surface level, as you can see, it's a very shooter, right? With almost arcadey style, and in order to make sure that there's also a little bit more meat in the game, we are working a lot with the relationship between the risk and reward. So as Lars mentioned, there's a timer in the level that gradually makes each mission more and more difficult over time, and then the players on their toes have to decide as a group, how bold should we be, how many objectives should we go for, how many grades should we go for, and and so on and so forth. And in order to keep up with the rising difficulty, they need to sort of be bold, but if they're too greedy, then they will fail and die, right? So that's just one of the way we work with the risk and reward mechanic. Another way is we have a mutation system, so you're facing this horde of mutants, and between each missions, the players will have to vote on new mutations for those enemies, right? So they can get sometimes small things like become tougher, or they can get new abilities, or they can sometimes evolve into new enemies altogether. So there's like a bunch of different opportunities. But this decision is also offset by benefits for the players, right? So sometimes it's immediate benefits. It could be like replenishing the team's health, which is an immediate benefit. But then it could also be longer term things that might be bigger benefits but require more risk, to say. So that's sort of how we work and make sure that there's a lot of interesting, non-trivial decisions while there's a lot of action as well.
That's really, really cool. And we have played it a bunch here, and we of course know co-op shooters. We make a very popular one as well. We've had a lot of fun playing in co-op, Søren.
Yeah, and it's a quite different experience still, this one, because it's as you can see, hectic, and you need to coordinate your actions, right? Especially now you can see on some of the video that you get these small ticks on the player, right? And then you need to support each other. Say, hey, I'm ticked, and then
shoot me, shoot me, please, please, guys, shoot.
Untick me.
Martin, how long have you been working on this? Where are you in the development here, and when can we expect this to release?
Yeah, so we've been working on this a little over a year, and we expect to be ready to early access release this late Q1 25 or early Q2 25. So it's around that window that we would deem it ready to.
And how big is your team on Guntouchables?
We're 6 members working on it right now, so a really lean team, but a really nicely scoped project as well. Everything is systemic, and it's very easy to sort of fill new content into this, and it will just sort of expand the realm of possibilities. So it's a super cool project to work on, and I'm really excited. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, and only more fun the longer we.
It's already fun.
It's all very very fun, and I absolutely love the concept of playing as a prepper. that just is so excited about this apocalypse coming by. Martin and Lars, for people that want to follow along on what you're doing with Guntouchables and when it's coming out, and maybe if they can play a demo or something before that, do you have a Discord? Where do they go to follow you and connect with you? And
we have a Discord server where if you could follow along, and we'll try to be a little better to update. We've been very busy preparing for this segment and the game in general, but we'll try to be a little more. Take a little more time to update what's going on now that we have a bit more and early access launch is closing in. So, but yeah, you can follow the Discord, and there's a link on the Steam's webpage, the Contactable Steam webpage, and you should maybe consider wishlisting as well if you find the game interesting. That will be super helpful for us, at least.
Absolutely wishlist the game. I will, because I'm not just saying it because I'm publishing it. I've had a lot of fun playing with people here from the office, just from where it is now, and it's only gotten better over the time.
Yeah, and by wishlisting and following, of course, you will also get notified when the demo, the playtest starts, which will be in a foreseeable soon future, of course. So as you can see, the game is really very playable as it is, and there's not long till we need to get some of you in to help GameSwing hone the fine details on this.
Yeah.
Very cool. Thanks for dropping by and showing us this new game, and we'll talk more and show more of this on the other side of in the beginning of the new year, for sure.
Yeah, thanks for having us on. We're really happy to join the family.
Absolutely, we're glad you're here, Martin and Lars, and the rest of the GameSwing team.
All right.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, Søren. A new announcement. We weren't busy enough.
No.
One more game.
So we added one more, and of course that's maybe what you should do when you are a publisher. But we have to remember that we're publishing early access games, and these games are we are looking for games that can stay for a long time, right?
Yeah.
So it basically means that whenever we put in a new game in the pipeline here, and it continues, hopefully, in the pipeline for a long time. So we're a bit hesitant on adding new projects.
And jokes aside about us being busy, we the developers themselves are doing a lot in terms of getting this game not just done but also published. And it's great working with people like GameSwing and the rest of the developers who are so excited about going through this journey and getting their games into the hands of people.
But speaking of great developers to work with, the next is Guidelight Games from the developers of SpellRogue that released into early access early this year. And we have Tim and Torbjørn on the line. Joining us
hello
from their office. Hello, everyone, and Pau as well.
Yeah,
who joined the team. You expanded your team, your little family.
Exactly. Yeah, we made a huge change. Hired a third person after 3 years of development, but we've been really happy with how Pau was able to help us already.
So the team has expanded with
the game genre so well. So.
It's a super fun project to join. It's a game that I already love playing a lot, so it's been a treat.
You also made a roguelike deck builder, didn't you, Pau? At some point?
Yeah, I didn't. Yeah, I did. Yes, so it was I think an easy choice to apply for this, and didn't pick me. So
it's a good fit.
I love the genre, and I think it's
And
Pau can help us with the design right away.
It's
been a few months, and it's already been super helpful.
And we at Gosha Publishing are of course also very happy that you're here, Pau, because it's been awesome working with Tim and Torbjørn, and they've been very busy this 2024 year. They released about 10 months ago, and I think you did 5 updates. No, I know you did 5 updates in that time, and they weren't small updates. They were some pretty chunky updates. You've been busy. Is there anything is there anything you want to call out over these past 10 months?
Sorry, one again?
Is there anything you want to call out that you've done here over the past 10 months?
We've been busy just adding all kinds of stuff, like mechanics, features, new content. Like one of the big ones recently has been increasing or improving the difficulty system. We now call it the descent system. And we also just added things into your gameplay where you can upgrade spells in different ways. It's the rune system, is what we're calling it.
Also did some major changes to the ritual systems, which was a system that you just slowly build up a spell. We give them a lot more interactions with the game. And I don't know. There's a lot of those mechanics that we have just improved over time, and just things that we didn't feel we quite nailed from early access. We just improved.
You also got a lot of people into play it, right? You also got a lot of people into play it over early access and give feedback and interact with it. And I guess you didn't plan out all of these updates like this following early access.
It's been very feedback oriented from the community. We of course have had a rough idea of what elements we wanted to bring to the game.
And we always had a huge backlog of ideas from years back that we wanted to do at some point. So as soon as early access was out, we already started working on some of those ideas that we had in mind. So we've been adding a ton of stuff.
Which is also great. Why having Pau here is important, just so we have more time to actually make all the features.
And of course, we also, as you can see, the milestone plan we just showed, every update has also added a ton of new spells and artifacts and mutators, so we just keep adding more things into the game. It's a game like ours is just more fun if there's more opportunities, more variety in each run. So
So the game has 3 characters right now: Earth and Water and Fire. Aren't we missing one?
Yes, we are. We need one more element. So just to talk about the new things coming in the full release 1.0, which we're working towards now. One of the major features is adding the air character, the one that we've been teasing a lot, but I think Pau has been the main driver behind that.
I start off starting to flesh out this because, of course, the air character, Tim and Torbjørn, they wanted the fourth character since forever, I think. So there's just this huge backlog of ideas for this character that I have been filtering through and saying what is good and what is not and what could be fun, and I'm trying out a lot of new things now. And but it's this it's the air character, of course. So we're trying to do something where it's a flying character that has makes lightning and is a bit swifting between different phases of attacks, and so a very fast and aggressive character, but one that can also swift its move, sort of yoga or meditative in that sense. And I think it's and some of the mechanics we try to do with this is then where spell positioning matters. So you can move your spells around and they will have different effects in different positions, and you can make conjure up lightning as a resource that you can both use as sort of electricity for some other spells, so you can just have it blast off once it's charged enough on other enemies. Is sort of the things we're exploring. So it's there's a ton of fun things there, I think.
We're very much looking forward to playing it ourselves. We've been playing SpellRogue quite a lot, some more than others.
Not tried the new character yet.
No.
So looking forward to that. So when is SpellRogue done? I mean, there will be a 1.0 at some point in the future, right?
Yeah. So our plan at the moment is releasing around March next year. That's the loose plan, but we're really aiming towards that. But it might be
given that you're three people on the team, it might be March-ish launch plan.
Exactly.
No, we understand that. We think the people, the fans of SpellRogue, absolutely also do. It's been super excited seeing the progress that you made, Tim, Torbjørn, and Pau, and also really excited to get to play everything that's gonna come in 1.0. Thank you so much for joining us here this time.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Really cool.
Yeah,
that was SpellRogue. Now to something completely different.
Yeah. About a year ago, we announced another game, Dinolords, which is essentially a well, maybe we should let Mikael and Frederick from Northplay tell them themselves again. Most of you probably already know Dinolords, but it's such a cool project.
It is. So let's see if we have our friends from Northplay joining us here.
Hello, everyone.
Hey, Frederick.
Hi.
Great that you're here. Yeah, I absolutely love Dinolords, and so does my 12-year-old son. He's already a huge fan, even though the game is not out. And I was about to pitch your game for you, but I don't think I'm gonna do it justice. Could you let everybody know what Dinolords is?
Sure. It's a hybrid between an action RPG and a real-time strategy game set in medieval England. You play as the British and you defend against the Danes. It's a historically accurate game where the Danes, of course, ride dinosaurs.
I remember that.
Game.
Yeah, as they did.
Yes. We're watching some footage right now from the latest builds. We have progressed a lot on several fronts, and there's a bunch of things going on right now. One of the biggest things is sort of like us exploring this intersection between action and strategy. You just saw us pick up some units holding down a command button, and we call that the warband system. That's been sort of a new development, which we really like. We've got some city building going on in the...
Yeah, a lot of things been happening too. We are finally really digging into what base building is in this game. And we had this idea about everything being physicalized in the world. So when you cut down a tree, you get a log, you take that to the base, and then you use that log to make a building, and you can kind of follow all the resources around in the base as you are progressing, right? But that's only that's just the system or the fancy about it. Now we are really getting into what should this building do and how can you upgrade buildings.
Of course.
And what buildings can you then build after that.
You can also ride dinosaurs. That's usually the first question we get in this game. Yes, you can ride dinosaurs.
That took a while, I would say.
That took a little while.
Yes.
We kept poking you.
So here you see the Lord riding a raptor. Of course, that gives you an immediate mobility benefits of like being able to easily get around the battlefield. You can even take your raptor up on the ramparts, on the walls. Here we're defending against some Danes trying to break through our walls. Quickly, let's repair those walls and see if we can prepare. Oh God, no! There's a T-Rex trying to get through our walls there. So here it's like a last stand. I think we just lost a raptor. We still have, like, as you see, there's like these buttons down in the left hand corner, like abilities, kind of like what you know from a game like Diablo. So you kind of have this merger between an action RPG and a real-time strategy game. That's basically what it is.
And you call that hack and strat, right?
Yeah, we affectionately started calling it hack and strat.
Yeah,
we kind of want to get that term out there.
Yeah, we're trying to invent a new subgenre here.
But it makes a lot of sense that that sort of hack and strat moniker that you're moving towards with the game, because I think the initial response when we showed it off to people was it's Age of Empires with dinosaurs, and it's so much more than that. It's great. It's really cool seeing that RPG presence that you have with your character in the game, being a Dinolord. And I remember back when we announced Dinolords, we were talking a lot about the title. Should it be like Dino Lords or should it be like Dino Capital Lords? And I think the argument for the title was that it's like a warlord. You're kind of a Dino Lord, and it kind of clicked for me. There is yes, that's the fantasy. I am a Dino Lord in this game. Yeah, that's who I am.
You have this you have like this power fantasy infused with like medieval times, basically, right? What would that look like? And we have some art here up on the screen. We are sort of fleshing out the world and the lore and everything. And we have this wonderful artist named Pablo Hidalgo. He does these amazing drawings, kind of bringing this world to life. So as we are also exploring exactly what mechanics to put into the game, we're also, I think, making a vibrant world that you can kind of get lost in.
Yeah, and also kind of exploring some of the references that we all like. Of course, we're all inspired by 1990 strategy games and action RPGs, but I think a lot of us also read these like make your own adventure books where you kind of flip through and then you read a little passage and then it said, if you want to do this, go to page 98 or whatever, and kind of exploring how this world feels and looks.
Yeah, I love this one.
These drawings are like right up there with
jousting knights on raptors. Like generally, we kind of have this thing during development called like the rule of cool. Like if it's cool, it goes into the game, right? And that's been working out for us really well, I think.
You've been working on some new units, right, as well?
Right, yes. Let's get to some Jankosauruses. Yes. So this is the Stegosaurus, this is full of jank, by the way, the real game dev, right? A large siege unit that sort of has to, like, it lumbers over and it has to sit down and then it fires these things. You'll try to kind of navigate around it, but it has this tail that swings and kind of knocks you down. We have a new subsystem in the game with armor. So it has armor on one side and it has a softer side on the other side. So positioning is really important. You have to get your forces to the other side of this thing. You don't want to be on the end of one of those exploding arrows. That's the Stegosaurus. Oh yeah, then you want to do this one?
Yeah, I can't pronounce the name.
Dilophosaurus.
That's the name. We just call it Dilo in engine and in code, so that's what I call it. So this is like a more it's a ranged dinosaur, which was an interesting challenge because how do you turn something that can't really shoot a bow into a ranged unit? So we got inspired by other
popular media with dinosaurs.
Other popular media with dinosaurs, and created this kind of tar spitting dinosaur.
We have some footage of it.
Also full of jank in editor, but they can kind of spit these pools onto the ground, and in these pools, every unit passing through is slowed, which kind of adds this interesting dynamic because movement is paramount for combat in this game. Positioning yourself and moving around the battlefield is what wins you a battle.
They're also super coy. Like if you hit them, like it's gonna run away, which makes it really annoying to fight against when you're
annoying.
It is super annoying.
Yeah,
and especially in combination with other units, like the big Stegosaurus. This one will then shoot down a blob of tar, and then you're slowed, and then the Stego just comes in with a ballista, and you explode, and it's glorious.
Yeah, we're really exploring. Combat. Yeah, we're exploring like unit composition right now. We have like a combat scene where we're just smashing toys together and seeing what works and what doesn't. We have one more. I love this one. This is one of my favorite ones. This is the Compy. It is a tiny dinosaur, and it just swarms you completely.
It's like it just attacks you. Dinosaur.
Very much.
Actually, if someone saw Jurassic Park 2, there's a scene with a little girl on a beach with some small dinosaurs. These are those dinosaurs, and they just swarm your units, and you really don't want to get bogged down because they just completely destroy you. So those are fun to fight against. You need something that destroys a lot of dinosaurs in one go. But yeah, we are just busy. There's so much game that we're working on right now.
Cool. This is awesome to see, and you're still hard at work on getting to early access. There's still a good way for you to that point, right?
Yeah, for sure. We're tentatively hoping for Q3 next year right now, but we're also very much aware that we are trying something new here, and there's not a lot of other games where we can reference and be like, oh, they solved it this way. So we're definitely game development wise, we're threading over some new ground, trying to figure out how to make these systems work in a way. We want to make a game that you can play for hundreds of hours here. But we think it's coming along really nicely.
Cool. Very nice to see all the development that's going on at North Play with the Dinolords. Thank you, Michael and Frederik, for visiting our little stream here, and we'll see more of Dinolords in the future.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys, and bye, everyone.
Bye. And now on to something Deep Rock Galactic related. Deep Rock Galactic Survivor.
Yeah, Deep Rock Galactic Survivor.
Published game, but done by Funday Games here from Denmark. We released Deep Rock Galactic Survivor in February. This year, and it became an instant hit, basically, which we're, of course, very happy to see. It's also a really, really good game and very addictive game.
I remember that week, so we released SpellRogue on a Monday, and we released Deep Rock Galactic Survivor on a Wednesday.
That was a busy week.
That was a very busy week, but awesome energy, and of course it became an instant hit. And the team has been hard at work ever since they went into early access.
Added on several big updates with substantial extension to the gameplay. We keep seeing gameplay time from average time spent on this game from the fans just rising and rising and rising, and people returning to the game each time a big update rolls out, and the game is starting to kind of become a whole, right? And there's a lot of things to cover when you start in early access. You know you're not done, and Funday have been doing a tremendous job plotting their way towards a 1.0, which will of course eventually happen. We're not ready to talk much about the content of 1.0 yet. Also, we don't really have Funday on the stream here directly here, but we'll get to that in a moment because we did do something.
We did do something
recently with Deep Rock Survivor.
So after Funday did their last update here in late October, they introduced a bunch of challenges and mutators, and we thought here at Ghost Ship, what better way to showcase that feature than making an esports event? And here's a recap of how that went.
Push if you were a bug, but holy cow, we're going to need to see it. We're taking hits here. Oh! Good heavens, that's a big explosion, and Java Rock's down. This round is going to be what determines the semifinals bracket. The competitor here is going to be the final one to lock it in as we're going on and turning up the heat to a next level of competition here at the Invitationals. Mark, I'm going to take you to a place you've never been before. Both players. Unfortunate end for Java Rock Gaming to be knocked out so quickly in it, but of course they don't call it the ultimate survivor for nothing. It's wow, Hooli Hoarder spotted there.
Hooli Hoarder.
Not interested. This is what that rock and stone spirit is all about. It's not only your athletic abilities, it's not only how fast you are on the keyboard, but it's of course your mindset.
Circling back to gobble up that XP.
Yep. Don't know why you made such deep eye contact when you said it like that, Mark, but we'll go for it. There is only one run. There is only one moment that counts, and that is now. The only step that matters is the one in front of you, Mark. Flamethrower as well as a cryo cannon. Oh, wow! What? Good heavens!
Meanwhile,
I don't believe it! Cup. You look away for a second and you see Idle Cup down at a score of 40,000. Mark, we're seeing it live right now. This is the determining factor here. Idle Cup is down with a score of 40,000. Farham at 49,000. This is it beyond a shadow of a doubt, ladies and gentlemen. We have our winner. We have our World Heavyweight Championship title winner here at the Invitationals.
That was so fun to do. And in the meantime, while that was happening, Deep Rock Galactic Survival was actually nominated for a Golden Joystick, and that was why we're not joined by Funday to talk about the update, because right now they're in London, hours away from going into the Golden Joystick event. What are they nominated for again?
Best early access game.
Best early access game.
In a small category where they will surely win against a very weak competition of games.
Yeah. We need not say more. No. And we're of course going to congratulate them, because on the call, we're joined by Jacob and Rasmus from Funday in London, almost ready to go into Golden Joystick. Jacob and Rasmus, best of luck going into Golden Joystick, but you of course don't need it.
Of course.
No.
We got it. We got this in the bag.
Yeah.
It's going to be easy. How are you feeling?
Why not?
How are you feeling?
Hopeful, I would say. Yeah, I mean, we trust the Deep Rock community. We'll pull through on this one.
I expect London and the Golden Joystick Awards is going to be full of Deep Rock fans, so I don't think anything could go wrong.
Sure.
Yeah. Rasmus and Jacob, thanks so much for calling in. Best of luck at the Golden Joystick. Enjoy your time there, and we'll see you when you're back in Scandinavia.
We will. We'll share pictures.
Rock and Stone,
guys.
Rock and
Stone.
All right, they were hopeful at least.
They were.
So they will surely win. It's in the bag, I guess.
Hope is all we need, but we have so much more going for us here with Deep Rock Galactic Survivor at the Golden Joysticks.
Yes. So our final segment in the Ghost Ship Publishing. Of course, you can say Rogue Core is also published by.
We have
Ghost
a
Ship,
portfolio of 6 games now.
Yeah. So, but we need to check in, of course, also with Bitfire Games and the DarkSwarm game.
They've been doing a lot of progress on DarkSwarm. They have made a trailer that they were off showing at Gamescom that I think we're ready to roll.
Yes.
Imagine yourself in a universe where danger lurks in every shadow. Your mission? Simple but crucial. Eliminate the relentless Dark Swarm. You won't be alone in this fight. Assault, the king of killing. Engineer, the team's defender. Infiltrator, the intelligence expert. Support, the backbone of the team. Join forces with up to 3 friends in DarkSwarm, the ultimate co-op, tactical, objective-based extraction shooter.
DarkSwarm. Wishlist now on Steam.
So now we have with us the incredible team from Bitfire Games. Welcome to the stream.
Hello. Hi, Søren. Nice to see you all.
Awesome to see you, Hans, Jonas, and Uwe, the trio over at Bitfire Games. You're of course many more people now, and you've been hard at work on DarkSwarm. It looks amazing, and it keeps looking better. And before we just hear what you've been doing over the past period and all the progress you've made in development, could you tell everybody that's maybe new to DarkSwarm what the game is?
Oh, yeah, DarkSwarm. It's a co-op game for 1 to 4 players. You play with your team from this Death on Demand corporation, and you go out on these missions to destroy the DarkSwarm that's causing a lot of trouble in the universe. That's just in the galaxy. That just for all the corporations, you have to take on missions for them and earn money and do the loot and go all sorts of ways about it. You can do like sneaking in, stealthing, and you can do like more direct combat missions, and it's like procedural levels, and it's all about having a lot of fun with your friends.
Yeah, with your friends, exactly. Yes.
Jonas, the idea for DarkSwarm, where did that come from? What was the inspiration?
Oh, the idea. Oh, yeah. It goes. It has. I guess it has roots in like early ideas, like back to Alien Breed and the Amiga, and of course we have a lot of newer, semi-new, like Alien Swarm, and then recently I was playing like years ago, playing like some Helldivers. So it's like you can say it's an amalgamation of all these like alien kind of shooter type games that is just like growing into something new.
I also feel like the concept of 4 employees being thrust into a dangerous situation by a slightly callous company is a concept that we've seen before. And I will say that DarkSwarm seems to be resonating with a lot of DRG fans. I'm seeing a bunch of people I know and interact with from the DRG community over in the DarkSwarm Discord.
Absolutely.
So you've been working on this game for a bit now. Have you? Do you want to highlight some of the things you've done over this past period? Some development. You've made some progress on the development.
Oh yeah, we have been working like
weapons. The new weapons.
Weapons. Yes.
Weapons.
Yeah.
About the weapons.
Yeah.
Yeah, we just saw the new flamethrower on the screen as you said that. That's probably one of our coolest things. Each of our classes have their own unique set of weapons, and the flamethrower is definitely the most beautiful looking of them. Slightly OP at the moment.
Yeah,
that's minor.
It's fun.
just like in real life with flamethrowers.
You've also been working a lot on the environment. I know a lot of visual upgrades on the environment, right?
Oh yeah, absolutely. We have got this procedural generation in for like the how like the DarkSwarm hive sort of grows in the levels, and we are opening up on this whole on the planetary surfaces that you will also see in the footage.
At some point.
So at some point, not right now. We're supposed to be throwers, and so it's really upping the visuals. Still, we are far from done. There's a lot of work to do still. Now it's a little bit arcadey looking, and we want to tone all the blinky stuff down and get like just the right mood. Also, UI has been a thing we've been worked on a lot. Maybe Hans can talk more about it.
Yeah, that's not much to say. We have made a UI where we can see all the information for our teammates and make it more clear what's actually going on in the game. And the community really asked for that, so we were very happy that that's in place now. So
that's not really in the footage yet.
That's not in the footage yet.
No, but that's definitely cool to hear. That's definitely something you think about when you play co-op. It might not sound as exciting as a flamethrower, but when you're actually playing, it becomes very clear that it's
pretty important part of the experience. So, but when will you be done with this mighty game? Is there an early access coming up, or we'll have to wait a bit more, right?
Yeah, I think so. We'll be aiming for the end of 25.
Aiming.
Let's see. Still a lot of work, but
still a few things.
Still a few things.
But in between, there will of course be some. There'll be playtest, right, and demos, and
of course,
various ways to get access. So if people join your Discord, there will be a shorter route to getting access, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, we are frequently putting out new updates for our pre-alpha testers, where they can test the new worlds, the new mission systems, and the new weapons, of course.
We're not really inviting more pre-alpha key testers right now. We have a tiny bit few keys left, but it's not a big invite or anything. No.
But the route to get into any kind of invite in the future will right now be joining your DarkSwarm.
Yes, exactly.
Wishlisting and following on Steam.
Wishlist, follow, and join the Discord. As always, you know the drill.
I will say I'm actually pretty active on the DarkSwarm Discord as well, and it's growing into a pretty active, pretty friendly community in there. It's pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's super nice community.
You guys have done a great job.
Thank you, Bitfire, for dialing in to our stream and saying hello. And it's good to see all of you there.
Yeah. So Søren, yeah, great to see you.
Great to see you.
Yeah, Søren. So, like you said in the beginning of this segment, 2025 is going to be quite the year for Ghost Ship Publishing.
Yes.
We have a lot coming out and a lot coming up. We prepared a roadmap for our publishing just so we ourselves and everybody can get an overview of what's going on. You should be able to see that up on screen here. It's been a very busy 2024. It's mostly been updates for SpellRogue and Survivor after they came out 10 months ago. And I'm not going to go into details here, but this is pretty much a summary of everything we've talked about in terms of high-level releases and tests and when you can expect what. Yeah. All subject to change.
Yes, all subject to change. And as again, the last point, Season 6 to be determined after the early access release of Rogue Core. So you have to be a bit more patient on that one. But Alex, I'm gonna kick you out as head of publishing, and
thanks so much.
And invite in from our marketing team, Aaron, who have you seen both in the office tour and heard on the invitationals. So Aaron, come on in.
Hello, Søren. Hello, chat. Hello, stream viewers.
So while Aaron gets his headset on and sits down, this is now turning into the merchandise segment, where you and Alex from marketing will present.
Alex from marketing. Yeah,
you know Alex from marketing.
Are you talking about the genetic clone we made of Alex from publishing?
He looks pretty much like Alex from publishing.
The scientist did a great job.
He's coming in now.
Let's bring him in now.
I'll step out and let
Wow. Look at that, chat. It's Alex from marketing.
Thank you, Søren. Thank you, Eric. It's great to be here. Hi, everybody. I'm Alex, head of marketing here at Ghost Ship Games. It is awesome to be here. What are we doing, Aaron?
Well, Alex, we're addressing a big thing with Deep Rock Galactic, is that there's been a saying for many, many years that Deep Rock Galactic has no merch. Many people have said it, and it's been hard to argue with because, indeed, we had no merch.
God, Aaron, I hope that doesn't continue in the future.
Whoa, Alex, it is a beautiful day because this is the day that changes. Those days of no merch, those merchless days are over, thanks to Dave.
Dave, you say? What an interesting name. Tell me more, Aaron.
Well, Dave is a big Deep Rock Galactic fan. He's got just about 1,000 hours in the game, but more than that, Dave is also a mechanical designer and a merch guy.
Wow, Dave Cyberslock, the perfect guy to make merch for Deep Rock Galactic.
That's exactly where my head is at. It's so good we work in marketing.
I'm so glad I signed that contract with him.
Yeah, so Dave runs his own business, Heroic Replicas. They make things like, replicas of swords from video games or cartoons. You may know Dave because he runs the merch store for Satisfactory and for Valheim. And you may see where this is going. Thanks to Dave and Heroic Replicas, we are now able to launch our very own Deep Rock Galactic web shop. And it's going live, opening for pre-orders when I press this button. That's right. You're entering a new era. The sun is shining, it's dawn over this world full of Deep Rock Galactic merchandise. And Alex, we have such an incredible catalog of merch to show off, don't we?
We sure do, Aaron. I almost can't wait to see the first item that I will be able to buy with my hard-earned money.
Well, money is a classic thing to exchange for goods. Why don't I show you some of the stuff we have going on? Coming up, we've got something like a Deep Rock Galactic keychain set. Are you tired of your keys looking so boring you pull them out of your pocket and you think, yuck!
I have that problem constantly, Aaron. I have boring keys and a boring life as a result of that.
Well, I can fix the key thing with this keychain set. Alex, why don't you reach over and show me what else you've got?
Well, Aaron, do you ever find that you don't have anywhere to store your liquids?
Yes!
Well, Dave has a solution for that.
What?
Now, with this branded Deep Rock Galactic canteen, you will be able to store all your liquids, hot and cold, in a bespoke container fitting the Deep Rock theme.
Alex, is this the canteen featured in Deep Rock Galactic, the computer game?
It sure is, Aaron. This is the canteen that you use to revive your friends when they go down.
Wow!
All you have to do is spray some water in your face in the video game.
Alex, can you hold other liquids in it too?
You sure can.
Holy cow! What a perfect container for liquids and fluids.
And it opens up for a Deep Rock branded canteen underneath with this cover sliding up.
Wow, this is awesome, and it's made of aluminum, which is a metal, so that's sort of also a reference to the game in itself.
It sure is, Aaron.
Alex, why don't I show you something else we've got? Are you tired of all those coins in your pocket jingling, jangling around and everyone's hearing you because your coins are so noisy?
Aaron, it's a huge problem at home. My family hates it. I think my wife might actually leave.
You talk about it all the time, but I've got a Deep Rock Galactic Loot Bug Piggy Bank.
Wow, this can hold all my coins?
It can hold all your coins.
And do I have to break it open like the loot bug in the video game to get all my coins and hard-earned money out of it?
That's the awesome immersive part, Alex. Not only can you choose to break it, but if you're a pacifist, there's a rubber plug underneath so you can retrieve your cash without violence.
So are you saying all I have to do is unplug the piggy bank and all the values come tumbling out of it?
Yep, in so many words it is. This is made of glazed ceramic, and it's a sturdy, durable, and beautiful addition to any home. But wait, there's more. If you're wishing that there's a more luxurious version, we've got just the perfect solution. It's a golden loot bug, just like the golden loot bug from Deep Rock Galactic, the computer game.
A golden loot bug? That means that I can show I'm richer than somebody that has a regular loot bug.
That's right, Alex, and if you put your money in this one, it might multiply to a greater amount, although I can't actually promise that for legal reasons.
Yeah.
But wouldn't it be cool if it did happen?
It sure would, Aaron. It sure would. Wow, this is where the money comes out of it.
Yeah. Alex, why don't you show me what else we have?
Well, Aaron, I have this very chunky chunk of gold.
Wow. Alex, does it make noise?
It sure does, Aaron. It has a big button that when I press on it, it says gold. And we're rich.
Wow.
It has multiple voice lines from the hit game Deep Rock Galactic.
Featuring voice lines from the Deep Rock Galactic computer game.
But wait, Aaron,
What?
there's more.
There's more?
Yeah. Do you know Bosco?
I know Bosco.
This is Bosco.
It's Bosco.
It's Bosco.
He makes the noise.
That Bosco makes.
Just like Bosco from the Deep Rock Galactic computer game.
And you get to paint Bosco yourself if you want, or just enjoy his silvery look.
Alex,
on
this is
your desk.
incredible. What if there were other goods that were so small that we couldn't show them on camera for full effect, so we had slides?
That would be a great solution to a problem like that, Aaron.
Let's do it now. Pulling up here in the Deep Rock Galactic web shop, the web shop is open now at deeprockshop.com. That's www.deeprockshop.com. Alex, we've got a high-fashion driller tee. Do you know how you're always bringing high explosives to the office and people feel uneasy about it?
It's sure been a problem, Aaron.
Well, now you have a t-shirt to make you more trustworthy. If you put on this Deep Rock Galactic driller t-shirt, everyone can see that you know what you're doing with explosives.
I always want people to know what I'm doing, and I want my apparel to signal that.
That's right. We've got the inspiring engineer tee featuring the real red color from the Deep Rock Galactic computer game. This t-shirt may or may not be legally guaranteed to increase standardized test scores.
Hey, that's the one I'm wearing.
Incredible, Alex. Up next, we've got the Heavy Duder Gunny tee, Gunner tee, with a 100-pound gun that's not included for $28. This t-shirt can be yours. Just go to www.deeprockshop.com and it can be yours. Finally, completing the squad, we've got the superb Scout tee. It ships at the same speed as the others, even though Scout moves faster, which is a bit of an incongruous thing, but you're going to have to take that up with your local postal provider. Just go to www.deeprockshop.com and you can order it now.
But Aaron, I want all of those t-shirts.
Holy cow, Alex, I've got the slide for you. Wham bam. If you're tired of doing laundry, if you can't pick, if you want to represent your love for Deep Rock Galactic, then you can get all 4 class tees for a bargain bundle. Just enter the code FAZENIGHT at checkout for a discount to get all 4 tees for $100. Just go to www.deeprockshop.com and place your pre-orders now.
Wow, all I will have to do is be able to spell the word FAZENIGHT and I can get a discount?
That's right, Alex. Alex, do you know how you have surfaces in your life that need to be covered with objects?
Yeah, Do I?
Yep.
Like this table?
Exactly. Well, we've got the perfect object for that. It's the Deep Rock Galactic Sticker Pack.
No way.
Featuring adhesive technology, this sticker pack includes 35 vinyl stickers that you can place on any sort of surface, unless a rough one, because adhesives don't work very well. But that's 8 sheets of stickers, vinyl stickers, 35 stickers total, featuring your favorite classes, your favorite beer labels, your favorite gear and creatures from the Deep Rock Galactic computer game. And if you enter the coupon code, you'll get a free sticker pack with any order over $40 at the Deep Rock Shop. That's www.deeprockshop.com. Up next, Alex, we've got the Abyss Bar Bluetooth speaker. Do you know how sometimes you're listening to something but you want to look at something too?
All the time, Aaron.
Yep, and
like now.
Yes, exactly, and we've got the perfect solution. This Abyss Bar Bluetooth speaker is not only a fully functional Bluetooth speaker, but it also has this lit-up display featuring the Abyss Bar from Deep Rock Galactic, the computer game made of many, many layers of paper, and it's light up. But if you don't like the quality of sound because you're one of those freaks that's really specific about your sound, you can plug it into your own speaker.
Wow, Aaron, this bar looks so cozy, I might start drinking again.
Wow, Alex, don't threaten the whole company with a good time. This is one of the many goods available on the Deep Rock web shop. Just go to www.deeprockshop.com and place your pre-order now. Up next, we've got the DRG Challenge coin. Are you ever at a bar and you're intimidated by real military veterans who have these coins because they actually served in the army and you wish you were also as tough?
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so we've got one of these coins that you can prove, and if nobody looks too closely, they'll think you were in the army too. For only $19, this coin can be yours. It's made of real metal, just like the metal you see in Deep Rock Galactic computer game, and it's also got a fabric carrying case that you can protect your coin in. It's $19, available now on www.deeprockshop.com.
A case for protecting my coin? Dave, he thinks of everything.
That's right. And we've got multiple pin sets. For example, this one, the perfect accessory for your lapel. Alex, you don't have anything on your coat's lapel right now. Doesn't it feel
not,
naked?
Aaron. What will fix that?
Well, Alex, we've got a pin set made of metal and enamel, I guess is the terms for that. It's $19, available at www.deeprockshop.com. But we've also got another one featuring other items from Deep Rock Galactic, the computer game. And if you have a ton of jackets with a ton of lapels you need to decorate, you can order all of them. I mean, both of them. It's the pin set combo, the pin collector's dream. Enter code PINDOWN at checkout, and you can get both of them at a significant discount. That's only at www.deeprockshop.com. That's www.deeprockshop.com. Ask your parents' permission before going online.
Wait, I recognize those keychains, Aaron. Those were the ones that were gonna fix my boring keys.
Yeah, they're gonna fix your boring keys. They'll fix your life. They'll fix your marriage. They'll fix any situation.
For only $24, they will fix my marriage?
Yep, that's only $24.
And there are 3 of them.
And there's 3 of them. You could have 3 fixed marriages for the price
Whoa,
of 1.
my current marriage and 2 future ones.
Moving right along, that's $24 here for this die-cast keychain set. Put them on your keychains, and you'll blow the key community out of the water. You'll go to the key meetups where you show off your house and car keys, and you're going to say, look you screwballs, you pencil necks, I've got the coolest keys on the block. It's only $24 at www.deeprockshop.com. And finally, Alex, we've got a single button Rock and Stone keyboard key. Do you know how you're playing Deep Rock Galactic and you press the V button?
No, Aaron, there are so many buttons on the keyboard that I have such a hard time finding the V button in time.
I'm so glad you brought up that critical issue, Alex, because the V button is famously the Rock and Stone button, but finally, you can have a keyboard dedicated to that key. It's a fully functional RGB light-up gamer keyboard with just the V key. You can press it and your character will say Rock and Stone, and you can plug it in via a USB connection to your personal computer or your console. It works on both.
Wow, I will never be embarrassed by missing a Rock and Stone again.
I know. Wow, Alex, all of these goods are available for an incredible price over here on the Deep Rock Galactic Galactic web shop. That's www.deeprockshop.com.
All items displayed are for pre-order. Final product designs may vary. Shipping and taxes are calculated at checkout and may depend on location. Terms and conditions may apply.
Wow, Alex, what an incredible selection of goods. But that's not all.
No, Aaron. There's more.
There's more?
There's more.
There's more.
There's more.
Let's roll the tape.
Lloyd, around the beer, please.
boire, continuer à boire. Et
Wow, these cups, they look so amazing. And like I said, I might start drinking again, so they are right up my alley. Here to tell us more about these cups and their upcoming Kickstarter is Scorched Steel Industries. Am I getting that correct?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you are.
Welcome,
Hello,
Alexis and Elliot. That you're the two of the three founders from Scorched Steel Industries, right?
Yeah, that is exactly right. And we are here to finally provide the Deep Rock Galactic community with the very, very needed mugs from the Abyss Bar.
Yeah, these are sweet. You guys have been working on this for a while. What's if people don't know Scorched Steel Industry, what's your guys' deal? Or where might DRG people know you from?
People might know my first company, Forge Steel Studio, where I made figures for a lot of people, including the Bosco and the dwarf you have on your desk. Yeah, these guys. And I made quite a few replicas and statues of DRG dwarves for the last 4 years or so. And one thing I always wanted to do was DRG mugs, obviously. But it's a very complicated process with a lot of steps, a lot of money also needed. And after more than a year of work, we are ready now to show you what we've done.
And we are super excited about it. Alexis and Elliot, these aren't just replica mugs. You can actually use them, right?
Oh yeah, definitively.
Those mugs are not just a single prop that you are going to have on a shelf. Those are going to be food safe, fully compatible for cold or hot drinks, fizzy optional. You can use alcohol or something else. I mean, no, not going to judge you here. And they'll cost less than a board game, but a bit more than a paper cup. So they should still be available and affordable for everyone.
Yeah, that's sweet. What's your guys' background? I mean, if somebody's wondering, like, hey, where are these cups coming from? What did you do? Where did you guys come from? How did we get to a point where it's DRG meets people who can fabricate and sell these mugs?
Well, we met around DRG. I'm a mechanical engineer, and I work both as a mechanic and as a designer for mechanical industries. And Alexi is...
I'm a product designer by trade. Got a master degree in it. And I'm a huge fan of video games, universe, and crafting, a lot of things. And I thought, why not mix both of them and see how it goes?
That's awesome. And you're, besides your professional background, you're also pretty well known in the DRG community. I've known the two of you for some time on Discord, and you've played a bunch of Deep Rock yourself, right? Oh, you know, when we worked on this campaign with you, it's pretty clear that you know the mug as well as we do, if not better.
We had to work quite extensively to make these mugs come from the game to real life. Some slight adjustments to the shape so that they can be easily held, that they are nice to drink from, because that is also an issue, and solving quite a lot of mechanical issues so that they can be finally available.
Yeah. And speaking of availability, because I'm pretty excited about them, when do you think they will be available to... you have an upcoming Kickstarter campaign going live, right? When will they be available?
That's right.
And where can I hear more about it?
You can find the link for the Kickstarter campaign sign-up page that should now be posted in the chat for both streams. We also have it on our website, scorchsteel.com. And we will have the first the first color, the Pots of Gold, if you can show it, please, available as from the start, Q1 2025. And the 3 other colors that are showcased in the B-roll will be available as campaign stretch goals if the community wants them enough.
And when you say Q1 25, that's the Kickstarter campaign, right? That's not when the cups will be set up.
No.
Yes. No.
You will get the cups way later, depending on the amount ordered. We might need a bit more time to have them. Delays depending on manufacturing and the global state of the world are hard to predict, but not before a year. Sorry for that.
Cool. But
You
so
will
right
have to
now, if people are
learn
interested,
drinking again.
if people are interested in following along or getting involved with the cups, they can follow the links, which I understand are in the chat, and then that's where they go to Kickstarter to get notified when the Kickstarter campaign launches. Is that correct?
Precisely.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah. Cool. So Scored Steel Industries, DRG Replica Muck going live as a Kickstarter campaign Q1 25. Alexis and Elliot, thank you so much for joining. Super excited to have you. Can't wait to for the campaign to go live and for us to drinking out of
for Rock and Stone.
Mucks. For Rock and Stone.
Rock and Stone,
Thanks.
baby.
Aaron, we did it.
Yep, the stream's over. We did everything we wanted.
Oh no, Aaron.
What?
The stream is just getting started.
What?
This is the segment that we've all been waiting for. Deep Rock Galactic State of Rogue Core.
Rogue Core, baby. All right, chat. Well, it is the moment you may or may not have been waiting for. I'm guessing most of you are waiting for it. Let's bring on Mikkel and Mike to talk rickety Rogue Core.
Hi there. My name is Mikkel.
I'm Mike.
I'm CCO of Go Ship Games and Game Director of Deep Rock Galactic and Rogue Core.
Yeah, and I'm the lead game designer on Rogue Core.
Yeah.
Deep Rock Galactic.
And we got some big headphones to fill after after Alex and Aaron.
That was impressive.
That was kind of impressive, yeah. I mean, and I hope we still have some viewers out there who are not like at the store or wishlisting games and so on. No, but we are here to talk about Rogue Core.
We are super excited to do so as well. I think it's been a while since we said much about Rogue Core.
Yeah, I think there's been a couple of posts, blog posts on Steam and on Discord.
Yeah, that's true. But overall, like kind of after we've gone to do season 5, as kind of like we said, we wanted to focus on that.
Mm-hmm.
So we stopped the Rogue Core development. Everybody went over.
Deep Rock Galactic.
No, we stopped Rogue Core development to do season 5.
Yeah, sure, yes.
And then we're able to take the team over to fully focus on Rogue Core.
Yeah.
So and that's what we've been doing. So we have some stuff to show and to talk about the game, and of course talk also about our plans going forward.
Yeah. And I think we're super excited about what we're going to show you here. But I think we have a couple of disclaimers.
Yes.
Like, for example, that, we are, the way we are approaching development is not doing a very pretty vertical slice where everything is just
No, it's the opposite. This is not a pitch.
This is not a pitch now.
Like, don't see it like that.
No, we're very much like working on the game on all over the place, which means that it's like we're lifting it piece by piece.
Yes. So what you're going to see is actually the state that the game is in right now as we're working on it.
But maybe we should just do like a quick run through of what we are going to talk about before we get going. I actually have a small plan here, so I can just the piece of paper here. So we're going to show you a video with a sneak peek that Mark has put together. Then we are going to talk about different topics of the game. We're going to talk about biomes, generating biomes. We're going to talk about how we upgrade and level up in Rogue Core. We're showcasing some of the new game hub area, which is not a space rig but a spaceship that we call the Ramrod. Yes. And then we are doing something that we haven't done before on these live streams, which is that we're going to do a live demo session where we have Jacek sitting with Unreal, and we are showcasing stuff live in Unreal.
Yeah.
And last but not least, we're going to have a Q&A session where you can ask questions, and we'll try to answer the questions as good as we can. So feel free to write the questions in the chat as we move along.
Exactly.
So
I think maybe also just very quick before we hit forward, maybe just if anybody here doesn't know exactly what Rogue Core is, maybe you can give it an introduction.
Yes, thank you. So Rogue Core is a spin-off of Deep Rock Galactic with a roguelike twist. So it's still a first-person 1-to-4 player co-op shooter, but the story setting is a little bit different. We're still at Hoxes in space, And the situation is that Space Mining Corporation, Deep Rock Galactic, has discovered this very precious mineral at the core Foxes that is called Exponite. And they want to mine it and harvest it. And so they are setting up mining facilities at the core of Foxes. And that's all well. But suddenly there is this event called the Grey Out, where they lose all contact with the mining facilities. And all attempts on entering the mining facilities again fail. So what do? They call in the Reclaimers, an elite unit of special trained dwarfs that will come in and try to reclaim the core of the mining facilities. So that's sort of like the stage.
Yes.
So you're four dwarfs, elite trained, moving into the unknown horrors of the core Foxes.
Exactly.
All right. So with all that said, I think maybe we are ready to see this sneak peek video of the game.
Sure. I think just very quickly before, just one more disclaimer, more on kind of what you're going to be seeing is that, and what we're going to be talking about. We have been so far very much focusing on the kind of the game within the single run, the very core of the game. So far, we feel it's super important for us to nail this. So what we're going to be talking about, and mostly what we're going to be showing, is things happening in the run, and not so much things happening around the run. So the structure overall of the game in which these runs exist, that is something that we're not going to be addressing.
And meta progression, right? Because I think
exactly.
that we are not like a true roguelike, it's more like a roguelite. We are going to have player progression.
I think you could say, like, yeah, it's a roguelite, but we're also very much going to be putting our own twist on it. So, yeah.
It's our take on what a roguelike is.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, we're doing it the Deep Rock way.
Sure. Exactly.
Yeah. But anyways, without further ado, let's see the sneak peek.
Yes.
Right, so there was a lot to digest.
Yes.
So, as some of you who are veterans of Deep Rock Galactic, you can probably see that there are assets in this trailer here that you will recognize from Deep Rock Galactic.
Yep.
For example, all the Reclaimers right now are just using armor sets that we are just been putting together from Deep Rock Galactic. So obviously they are gonna look unique.
Yeah, and again, kind of like you were saying, this is the state of the game, and Rogue Core has been developed on kind of by us taking Deep Rock Galactic, making a copy of it, and beginning to strip it down and rework it and stuff like that. And so you can see that the final thing is gonna be its own thing, right? I mean, if at any point we find that we reuse a model from DRG, it is because we want that specific item from DRG, and then it makes sense for us to use that model, right? But
So, but anyways, it's just to clear whatever confusion.
Sure.
When you see something from Deep Rock Galactic, there's a good chance that we are gonna change the model to something unique that will fit within the Rogue Core universe. But anyways, the first topic I think we should dive into is how we are generating the biomes.
Yeah.
More precisely, how we are procedurally generating a mining facility versus a natural cave like what you have seen in Deep Rock Galactic.
Exactly, and that's a huge difference between Rogue Core and Deep Rock Galactic is that the story of Rogue Core is that you are going through a facility that Deep Rock Galactic has set up, these deep dig sites where they are harvesting Exponite. And so we want to actually have that, and that has some issues we need to figure out, which is how do we logically place these things, because Rogue Core, just like Deep Rock Galactic, is procedurally generated. So we're not doing level design in the same way.
No, and I think this is back to when we have been generating natural cave formations in Deep Rock Galactic, right? I mean, because nature is kind of random, obviously we have rules for how we are spawning plants and rocks and so on. But when we are spawning man-made or dwarf-made structures, it demands that it makes a little bit more sense that there is a reason for why the dwarves have been putting up these structures. And that is something that we are looking very much into. Like, for example, the image you see right now is an attempt of building a bridge over
a chasm.
A chasm. So, and again, we are playing around with the way we are procedural generating and the logic of it to make it make sense.
Exactly, and just to further kind of clarify, these facilities, they are built within natural caves. So it's not that you're going through an entirely dwarf-made structure. Instead, we have the caves. The caves existed. DRG came there, and then they started setting stuff up, setting up their operations, placing machinery, storage spaces, all that stuff. And so we are creating these spaces. We call them constructions generally, whether they are in tunnels or inside large caves. And these are both have just static elements, but we also have interactive elements in them as well.
And that's super fun, like elevators.
We can see the screen as well, right? But that's like a lift that you can use to take up, and again, these are things that you can then fix or power up to be able to use these.
Could be lights that you turn on or cranes that you can move. And it's just really nice to see, and it actually interacts in a different way in your traversal. So you traversing the caves that you actually have these structures to help you out.
Exactly.
But then the other part of generating the biomes is that we are close to the core, and as you can see on some of the screenshots or in the video we showed you, we are reusing biomes from Deep Rock Galactic.
Yeah, you are on Hoxus still.
Yeah, you're still on Hoxus, right? But we really wanted to give it a unique flavor away from Deep Rock Galactic. So what we've been working on is creating what we call a core biome, which is how does the core of Hoxus look like, or when you're close to the core. And then we have been experimenting with taking this core biome and having it spread into the existing biomes. And that's what you see on this image here. You see segments of the core biome mixed in this is Crystal Cavern, where it's mixed in. And that will happen in the first couple of stages as you go down into a mining facility, and eventually it will turn over and become like the core biome when you get deeper down.
Exactly. Yeah.
And again,
as
you try to reclaim the core, right?
Yes. Which is what right? You're coming down here,
reclaim the facility.
Down at the core of Hoxus.
Yeah.
Which is where Exponite is.
That was not the core, by the way. That looks a little bit puny. If that was the core.
No. But that was an example of the pure core biome, right? And then, if we kind of follow, based on what you're looking. So again, when we talk about these facilities, right? So here's an example of a facility entrance.
And again, this is I was gonna say program art, but this is actually game design art. So it's just something that has been put up. This is gonna look way cooler when we get some artists actually working on it. No, but I think we're going to change the gear a little bit and talk about how you are upgrading, how you're leveling up within a run in Rogue Core.
Yes.
So the first thing that is actually going to happen is you're going to come down to this mining facility with a drop pod, like you know in Deep Rock Galactic. And then you're gonna enter this gray zone area where there's gonna be like a huge barrier that is impenetrable. But luckily the dwarves, the reclaimers, have some special robots that can sort of like crack a hole in this barrier that is like covering the whole mining facility.
Yeah.
And they can get in there and start reclaiming it.
Exactly. But I think there's so of course because again, compared to Deep Rock Galactic, where you are upgrading very much outside the missions, and then you go down to the mission with your gear and stuff like that. Here, we're playing with this idea that you are instead upgrading and powering yourself up, finding gear as you play, right? So it is the kind of this barrier that prevents you from bringing high-tech stuff in.
Yeah.
So that is why kind of the reclaimers are coming in right now
naked.
Exactly, right?
So you come in with only a pickaxe. So the first thing that's going to happen is you're going to enter the mining facility, and then you're going to come into this entrance room or logger room that is like the first room you go into before you enter the mines.
Yeah.
And here you are going to equip a gun and a traversal tool.
Yes.
And here we see the dwarves, the reclaimers, are gathering around this weapon terminal or a tool equipment terminal.
Yeah.
And here they are going to pick. Can we get the next screenshot? Here you can see an example of a screen where you will be picking your guns.
Yeah.
And you're doing this as a co-op selection thing.
Yes.
So it's hidden by some of the graphics, but if you look up in the top of this image, you will be able to see that it says Mark and Alex and
Ace S.
Ace S. And they're taking turns picking a gun now.
Yes.
So it is something that you need to talk about with your fellow.
Yeah, it's actually a big part of the way we're doing upgrading in Rogue Core. We really wanted to bring the co-op aspect, not just in the kind of the gunplay or the combat, but also to see if the upgrading process can also be something that you don't do alone by yourself, and you don't just do next to your teammate, but you actually are doing it with your teammate. So we have this kind of the analogy would be kind of the game deals out cards onto a table, and then the whole team has to choose one, and you talk about what do you want and what makes sense. And this is happening multiple times through the run. So it is about kind of like using this both for tools, but also for upgrades. These are kind of
we're gonna look at them in a second.
Okay,
the
yeah,
upgrades.
sure.
But this is and then so first you pick a gun, and then you pick a traversal tool. And I think the other thing about, by the way, about this co-op selection is also that it is a matter of also making that you have an interest in making your teammates good.
Yes, of course.
Right? So I mean, sometimes maybe you cannot get the most powerful, objectively powerful selection, but maybe it will make more sense on a teammate.
Yeah, because
and then you should actually value giving the upgrade to the teammate.
Yes, because I mean the way it's set up again, right? You will succeed or fail together, right? So you yourself being super strong is not going to be enough when you're playing in a group, right?
No.
I mean the game is scaled to the number of players that there are.
Yeah. So the next thing we have is a small video of the main way of getting upgrades in the game.
Yes.
And that is by mining Expanite that is in the mines here. And here we see a small video where you are mining it. This the Expanite here is also a placeholder, by the way, but it's the green stuff that is the Expanite.
Totally not green.
Here we see something new, right? This is Ellis, and Ellis is a new companion drone that you have with you. And Ellis functions a little bit like Molly,
but so much more.
But she does so much more. And so Ellis is an REPD, a remote Expanite processing drone. So you put Expanite into it, and then it processes the Expanite, and then it gives you an upgrade. Yeah. And as you can see here, can you just pause it here, Mark? As you saw that when Ellis is ready with an upgrade, there comes this green bubble up, and then all the reclaimers needs to gather around Ellis.
Yes.
And first, when they're all together there, you will get to select an upgrade.
Exactly. She's kind of a focal point where the team is. I mean, you're spreading out, you're doing things, and then you're constantly coming back together over and over again. Yes. This is very important to keep the team together, to keep this cohesion, and also to allow for more chances for cooperation, right?
Yes.
When you are next to each other, as opposed to if you're all over the place.
Yeah. It also means that if you have a dwarf down, you cannot upgrade until
you have to get him up.
That dwarf up again. But anyways, if you look at the screen here, the upgrade screen, Again, we can see a selection of some of the upgrades you can pick. Again, if you look at the top, you can see there's a sequence.
Yes.
That's the picking order. And in this case, there are 3 players playing Rogue Core. And that means that every third time you will pick first. So it goes, you take turn going first, right?
Yes.
So even though you, I don't know, you just get the chance to get what you want. We also have a small system that is placeholder right now. That is that you can place a heart on an upgrade if you want it. And then you can sort of like communicate to your teammates that I want this. And then, I don't know.
Very important if you cannot speak. And also even when we play with the microphone, stuff like that, I mean, it's just a nice redundant marker. You don't have to, so you say like, oh, hey, I want that. And then you can either talk about it or respect it. I mean, in the end, again, it is about working together. So it's not that you get to lock something down. It is you saying, hey, I would like that, or right. And
we're also working with that. We want to allow players to see the other players' builds.
Yes.
Again, in order to sort of like help them make the strongest build they can.
Exactly. Working together, and also of course cross-build synergies as well, so that kind of building in a way that another player can be powered up, or that it's by working together that you can do things. Again, with things like maybe you are very good at stunning, and then somebody else can take advantage of that because they have a build that is based on having creatures be stunned as a kickoff to their power or something like that.
All right. Then there's another way of upgrading, because all the things that we're talking about now are co-op upgrading screens. Then we also have a design for single-player way of upgrading, and that's something we call biostations.
Well, not just, I mean, this is also in multiplayer,
but
it's kind of like something you do by yourself.
But you do it in-game. But this is where you can sort of like, the build that you're working on, you can sort of like mold that into what you want. Again, this is placeholder. This is a very crude design. We have a more complicated or better design on the way. So this is just to showcase that we are also doing solo upgrades.
Yeah, I mean, very placeholder. Some of you probably can guess what the model is.
That's the corn fuser. I don't guess. I'm probably not gonna get any medals for guessing that.
No.
But anyways, all right. Then there's a third way of getting upgrades, and that is by doing what we call like optional events. Events in the cave. And in this case here, you see what we right now call a rock cracker. And it is sort of like Expanite that has been encased in
stone.
Stone. And then this machine, you can activate it. There will be a huge fight. And then you will eventually crack the rock open, and then you'll get a huge chunk of Expanite and get a lot of upgrades. But this could change into something else that you were getting out of this.
So again, this facility, you will come upon, of course, like, traversal elements like stairs, elevators, stuff like that, but also machinery that was being used for either harvesting Expanite or keeping something. I mean, all sorts of stuff. And it's that, again, like Mikkel said, doesn't just have to be Expanite. But the idea is that something like this. So DRG was planning to crack this. They set this stuff up, and then the grayout happened, right? So now the reclaimers come in, and they're able to restart this process and get the Expanite out, and then use it to
reap some more rewards.
Exactly, right?
Get more power.
Yes.
All right, but I think that was enough. Now we are gonna move over to talking about the Ramrod. Because that's our new hub area, and it is also in development.
Yes.
Again, it is. This is what you're gonna see is a block out. It is not fully skinned or anything.
A lot of gray.
Yeah, but we have Mark again has put together a small video, and here you see it.
Yeah, it is a spaceship.
It is a spaceship, and I think talk a little bit about the difference between doing a spaceship versus a space rig. And when you look at the space rig in Deep Rock Galactic, you have very high ceilings and a very big like hall room that you are moving around in, and we really wanted to give this spaceship feeling, and in that regard we have lowered the ceiling, so you don't have as big rooms as in DRG. We have windows, more windows.
Across both sides, right? I mean, it's not just kind of you're not on this like small part of a huge structure. You feel the structure. The idea is for you to feel the structure much more, right? So you kind of look to the left and there's a window. Look to the right, there's a window. I mean that's the kind of the boundary.
Symmetry,
a lot more symmetry, right? Or at least like from side to side along the ship. Also inwards.
And
toilets.
Toilets.
Very important.
By popular demand.
Yes.
No, so it's just very cool to try to do something new here.
Yeah. And of course, but besides saying like with a spaceship, another thing here that, of course, we're looking at is that this is the place where the Reclaimers live.
Mm-hmm.
This is kind of right there. They're on their tour right now. I mean, and this is also a place where we get to kind of set up the idea of like what is the kind of the culture of this group of dwarves, right? Because they are not the same as the combat miners on Space Rogue 17. They are a different kind of dwarf. They do different things, and their personalities I think can be different. And so we're also trying
from harder rock.
Come from harder, but again, right? I mean, they also have different values, and again, like we put in a gym, for example, right?
So there's a gym where they can work out and so on. Yeah. But anyways, that was a little sneak peek at the Ramrod.
Yeah.
Now we are shifting gears a little bit because we are inviting Jacek on board, and we're going to do a live demonstration of stuff in the game.
Yes, let's do it.
So hi Jacek, and welcome to the stream.
Hey. Hi everybody. I'm Jacek, and I'm the art director on DRG and Rookcore.
Yeah. So welcome. And what are we looking at here, Jacek?
Well, we are in a small test area where we have set up some of our new creatures that we can walk around and take a look at.
Yeah. One of them might be familiar.
Yeah. So this is the Correspond Crawler. You guys have seen that from our season 5.
Maybe we should just run through them all and just give a quick introduction, and then we can go back and talk into depth.
All right. So we have a new, smaller version of the Crawler, Correspond Creeper. And here's a Correspond Scorcher. And a Correspond Clamorhead. This guy's called Correspond Age Stalker. And then we have a Rafkan Thrasher, which is a different family. And a Rafkan Rammer.
Yeah. And of course we have a lot of other enemies in the game, just besides these, right? But besides the Rafkan Thrasher and Rammer, this is sort of like the base army that you are going to be facing in Rookcore. Well, that's the idea right now. And the equivalent of a grunt is going to be the creeper here.
Yes. This is the ones where because again, this is Rookcore is a horde shooter, kind of in the way that DRG is. So we are still looking at a similar kind of like combat setup for the enemies and what you're fighting. So these are the ones where that we need enemies that we can spawn a bunch of, right? That they can pour in.
And I don't know, Jacek, do you want to say anything about the design of it?
Well, we're kind of continuing some of the the specific details from the Crawler. We're going like with those long tendony muscles on these guys, and we're definitely playing with the kind of peeling layers that show, a change in the creature at some point. Like this guy has like an extra skull that kind of mimics some kind of humanoid skull, and then his old being is like behind it. We kind of try to push that along on the other creatures as well. Like this guy has like this kind of brain kind of thing that opens up, and this guy also has like other layers where he can like open up and scream at you.
And then I think another big difference in terms of like animation and so on is also that they're quadrupeds.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly. So a lot of these animals, creatures.
Yeah.
Yep.
But maybe we should go back to the creeper and just try to. Maybe you could spawn a couple of them so we can see them moving around.
Let's go here.
So this is like a cheat menu Jacek just brought up, and you will probably see there was multiple names of other creatures. So we have a lot of other enemies that we are also working on. But here you have the creepers.
Yeah, they can't kill me right now.
Are you in God mode?
Yeah.
How are they different from a grunt and deep rock? They're a little bit faster.
I mean, the way they move is different. Of course, their shape is also different. In terms, they are taller than the grunt. I mean, so these enemies were actually made. You could say side by side with DRG enemies. Originally, we also even played around with having some of the DRG enemies in Rogue Core. We ended up taking them out. And focusing on our own, so they are tougher. They hit harder. They are harder to kill. Though of course, again in Rogue Core, like in DRG, your power grows. So you start with something that is kind of a challenge, and then as you power up, these things become.
So you're gonna start actually feeling that the game is way harder in the beginning. That if you, for example, are a veteran. Has a 3 or as a 4 player in Deep Rock Galactic, right? You're gonna feel the game is harder. You're gonna have to, I mean, put up a fight here.
Yes, and again, right? Because you're starting, and again, this is also kind of running with these reclaimers, right? They are kind of the kind of doors that can be sent with barely nothing. Like they have their pickaxe and whatever gun they could find, right? And so it is this thing that you do start off quite limited.
Yeah, but let's move on to the Scorcher.
Yeah.
Scorcher, and let's try to see that. So that is more like a ballistic.
Yeah. So the Scorcher is an enemy that kind of stays in an intermediate range. They're not trying to come up in front of you, though they're not staying too far away either, and they have a ranged attack. Right, so they have a bit more of a harassing role to the player, but at the same time they are quite fast moving. Again, if being compared to like a more further away stationary sniper kind of thing, they are not it. They also can come in larger waves, and again, they are kind of like weak enough that you could deal with them with strong AoE and things like that. So,
yeah. But again, staying at a distance here.
Yeah. Staying at a distance, harassing. They are important targets because you cannot really ignore them, because they will chip your health very quickly if you're only focusing on the things that are coming forward to you.
All right, then we move over to the Clamorhead. And this is a big boy here.
That's a big boy.
Yeah. And
there he is.
You see here.
Yes. So this is a slower target, right? I mean, it is working together in a group, right? And for DRG players, they will see plenty of similarities with the role of the Praetorian. And that is again because these they are doing important things in the combat kind of puzzle as it's put together.
And this is very much work in progress. I promise to say this from some of the artists. So they're like this guy is sliding around and is clipping through terrain.
Yeah.
So please bear with us about this. The other thing is, for example, it is having this sonic attack. And a lot of effects is missing here. So So we are showing you stuff way earlier than we are actually comfortable of.
No,
but that is what we're doing here.
Again, exactly. It's just so that you can actually see where the game is. We're trying not to show things that are completely broken, because that would be pointless.
Yeah, but we're also showing you stuff that are clearly not done.
Exactly. So this is a harder to kill enemy that again can threaten a group of reclaimers if they are stuck together, kind of when engaging it, you because it has this weak spot on its belly on the front. So first off, you can't, like, I mean, if only the top of it is showing, you can't shoot that. So you need to sometimes get close and watch out for things getting in the way, and then you have to be in the danger zone to damage it. And again, it's something where you can move out, move back in,
and it also has a lot of armor, right?
It has a lot of armor and it has a lot of health.
Yeah. All right, then we have the Edge Stalker.
Yes.
And I think the Edge Stalker is interesting because it was actually you who had this idea that can we bring a gunfight to the caves of Hoxus? So this enemy is highly mobile, shooting enemies.
Yes, that
Shooting
also
enemy.
that stay at long range, and they have a behavior. So right now, of course, you have one, which is going to make it much more manageable. But the thing, they're not trying to rush you. They are instead trying to stay at a good distance, constantly move. They move. I don't know, orthogonally. Well, I don't know what the word is, but. Yeah, they move sideways when they're looking at you much more than they move forward and back.
Strafing.
Yeah, exactly. They like to strafe, and they also they kind of they are more aggressive when if they are behind you or on the side. So often, especially when you fight multiple of them, they will start to flank and do these kind of things.
Yeah, and I think when an edge stalker is around, you really want to seek cover and have the possibility to put objects between you and the edge stalker.
Exactly. This is an enemy
getting hit.
From which you need to seek cover, and it's not super fast to kill.
No.
So this is you are exchanging fire with them. And they are both priority targets, but also targets that are not easy to instantly remove. So often, at least right now when we're playing, depending on the situation and the environment, you may simply need to move the fight into a place where you are in cover, so you can deal with the smaller enemies, because you can't just go and kill the one or two edge stalkers. They don't spawn in very large groups, because otherwise it gets completely crazy. But so you instead saying, oh, we have to kill them. No, we just have to get away from, move the fight somewhere else, or perhaps also move to a place where you can force them to come out into an easier way to kill them.
Yes, but that was the edge stalker.
That was the edge stalker.
Should we move on? Should we see the last two?
To spawn them?
Yeah.
I don't know. Do we have time?
I do the chat wants to see the last two in movement? I think they do.
Okay.
Let's just spawn.
The chat says yes.
Yes. So let's do the Thrasher.
Let's
Thrasher. Okay.
So this is a different family.
It's a different family, yeah.
Family, but yeah.
So these are they're flying around, and they're basically trying to push you. So they're charging you. It's like a flying bull.
Exactly. Their weak points are kind of more on the side. So shooting direct, when they are charging at you, the exact straight part is actually armored. So it's more about moving to the side as you kill them. They're not super hard to kill.
No.
But they are an example of a very high priority target, because this is an enemy that you cannot ignore. Or if you ignore it, they will kill you very quickly, because they have a pretty high frequency of attack. They're hit. They can hit you very well, because they charge, and then they can even adjust a little bit. Although you can sidestep them if you actively do so.
And this was the small one, right?
This is the small one, and then there's a big one.
There's also a big one, yeah.
Let's get the big one.
That's gonna hit you way harder.
Yeah. So the small ones, of course, are disruptive, but the big one is an enemy that generally the team needs to focus on. So this is where, again, you have an enemy that is very disruptive. So when it comes, you need to figure out how you can deal with it, because it is not something that you can ignore.
Now it's getting angry.
Yeah, and it also displaces. And it also carves, so it will break through. If you're trying, exactly. So if you're trying to hide behind a crystal or something like that, it will smash through that crystal. Although it does need line of sight to kind of initiate its attack. It also, again, when we're talking about having these objectives that you need to do down in the caves, this is an example of an enemy that makes it that, well, the dwarves, the reclaimers, they need to be together at this objective. They need to take care of this objective, and here's an enemy that is kind of is there to displace the dwarves, right?
Yeah.
You have to move out of the way. It does a lot of damage, of course.
And again, it's also easier to deal with if you're two, right? Because it has the weak spot on the side. So
exactly, pattern is more exaggerated on the rammer, where the front is completely armored.
Yeah.
And it's I mean, highly accurate weapons you can hit from the front on the weak spots, but generally you want to either sidestep it, kind of have this bullfight thing going on if you're doing it solo, or if multiplayer, right? I mean, you figure out who is the target, and then the rest of the team needs to coordinate with that.
Will you say something about the design of some of these creatures, Jacek? Is there, I mean...
Well, we were going for some kind of, flying squid-like thing, much also a bit inspired by the Matrix squids. But it should be a mix like of hard elements and soft elements. And of course, they're kind of a bit magical in that way that they float around, even though they're like huge, especially the rammer. And we also like having like parts that open up so we can make some nice looking or nice sounding screams on these guys as well.
Do you have a favorite of the creatures that we are looking at?
Of all the creatures? I mean, so for me, I think my favorite is the Edge Stalker because of the kind of gameplay that it brings. When kind of prototyping, I had a lot of fun trying to like fight 3 of them, and then suddenly I have to like run from cover to cover and things like that, which was for me a fun thing. So it has a special place in my heart in that way.
What about you, Jacek? Do you have a favorite?
Well, I actually also like the Edge Stalker, but that's mostly because he's so very different and so scary. We were really going for it to try and make him look kind of spectre-ish at a distance and have a strong silhouette as well. But I do actually like the Refcan Rammer as well in the way it moves and flies around. It feels very organic.
How about you?
Yeah, but I think the Creeper or the Scorcher, I think is... that they're doing different things, but I really think that having the Creeper as a base enemy, they are really creepy. And that's
creepy creeper.
Yeah, exactly right. And I think this thing when you have like a horde of them crawling on the ceiling.
Yeah, and because they are quadrupeds, I mean, or bipeds almost, right?
It just looks very, very creepy and really nice, I think. And then the Scorcher, I just think that is also a very nice model, and it reads and plays really well.
I think like when Anders is the one that made the Scorcher, and I think like when he first put it in the prototype and played, it was super cool when they came in, kind of how they augmented the fights to have this intermediate range enemy. Again, in DRG, we have a little bit something like that with Mechterra, but they are very specific. They have their own thing going on, and this is something that is highly mobile. It's on the walls and all over the place, so it really added like a new thing.
Yeah. All right, but I think maybe we're done talking about enemies now, and maybe we should just talk a little bit about the classes of Rogue Core.
Well, maybe for those that have been with us for a while, announcement: we have classes.
Yeah. So, I mean, clearly Deep Rock Galactic has the 4 classes, Gunner, Driller, Engineer, Scout. We are going to have more than 4 classes in Rogue Core.
Yes.
And we have to start somewhere, right? And right now we have 5 classes that we are working on.
Yes.
Some of them are better than others, and they will probably change.
Sure. I mean, these aren't even the only 5 that we've been going through a process of making prototypes, trying them out. I mean, looking at mechanics. Again, some mechanics, though they seem cool in single player, completely break apart in multiplayer. Or the other way around, right? But
before we're going to show 2 classes for you now. But before we go into that, I just want to say right now a class in Rogue Core is a dwarf with a special ability.
Yes.
And that ability is mainly tied to some mechanics on his left arm.
Yeah, maybe some kind of implants or something like that.
Some implants or something like that.
Yeah.
And that he can use, and it's often timed, and it has recharged, and then you can mix it into your combat style, and it will affect that kind of combat style. The class can also consist of think about like perks, active perks or passive perks like in Deep Rock Galactic. That is also part of forming the class. And then obviously there will be a lot of meta upgrades and so on.
Yes.
That will also help you like mold or shape your class.
Yeah, exactly. But so kind of
other classes.
Yeah, so this is something that you get to select as you come in, or before you do so, right?
So the first class we're going to show is the Slicer. And the Slicer has maybe you can present it, Jacek.
Sure. So Slicer is a guy that has like a plasma blade on his arm, that has an attack that slices in front of him and sends out that plasma and kills enemies.
Like that.
Super effective.
Macaroni. Yeah, so it is sort of like clear the area around me, kill everything.
Exactly. And it is melee, so it is hooking into things that may upgrades that may affect melee, or melee that have melee kills as a trigger, or again things that also work with enemies that are close. These are all kind of like systems that we're playing around with in Roco, right? Having all these different triggers for different effects and different systems to kick in.
All right.
Yep.
But should we move on to the? So I mean, that's the slicer for you.
That's the slicer. And again, like you said, we are looking. We're gonna expand what a class is. But right now in Roco, this is what it is, and yeah.
Then let's move over to the Falconeer.
Sure.
Yes.
So the Falconeer is sort of like a mix between an engineer and a falconer, right? It's just our interpretation of the word Falconeer. So here you have a reclaimer with a drone on his arm, and he can send that out and he can call it back, and there it lands on his arm again. And I think maybe we should spawn some enemies.
All right.
Verify. But yeah, it is you get to send out this drone. It has an electrical attack, so it's doing both damage, for example, across on a single target. You can choose a target, you can send it out without a target, at which point it will select targets automatically. You can make it change targets, and it does two things, right? It can of course help you kill things, but it can also give you crowd control. As well as bringing in electricity, which then again can be used as a kickoff point for other effects and effect chains happening.
We have been talking about, like, for example, for this one, and this is just again to tell a little bit about the process, right? We have a lot of ideas, and a way to further expand this is that we have been talking about, like, could it, for example, remote revive and fellow reclaimer that's
so you could send it and it would like use up all its charge.
Exactly, so instead of going there and reviving a dwarf, you can just make this drone do it for you.
Robot bird defibrillator.
Yeah. And then, I mean, we have multiple other classes.
We do, but I mean, again, these are the ones that right now we have been taking where like their ability is something that we can show in a slightly nice way.
Yeah. And then also we want more in store to show you later, right? So we are not spoiling everything.
No.
I hope that you think there's a lot here to digest. So
sure.
Yes. But do you have anything to add on the classes, Jacek? Or
I mean, we also right now they are wearing just some of the vanity armor from DRG, but we are working on like some cool armors that support the class's design.
Yeah. To make them unique and
yeah.
Yes, but it's not in. It's not in yet.
No.
All right, but I don't know. Should we do a Q&A now?
I think we're ready for that.
I think we're ready for that. So we're back on camera now, and I think that maybe Jacek, we should just say goodbye to Jacek. And
bye, Jacek.
Then we're ready for some question, and we have Jacob sitting behind the screen here.
My name is Mark.
No, Mark.
Hi, Mark.
Mark, sorry. dear other.
Well, Jacob's right there as well.
Yeah, he's right here as well.
Hi.
But,
Jacob has been collecting some questions from the chat while you guys have been presenting, and one of the first questions I want to ask is why is Roco a separate game and not in normal Deep Rock?
Well, it actually started as an attempt from us to make an expansion for Deep Rock. But as we started developing it, we really wanted to be set free from what Deep Rock Galactic is. And I think we are right now, we are tearing guns apart. I mean, we are the fact that we don't have the legacy of Deep Rock Galactic to constantly maintain while we are doing this is a huge liberation, and it's also something that we are really excited about, doing a new game instead of just doing an expansion.
Yes.
So it is a different game that we're doing.
No.
It is I mean, it's not the same.
No, but I think another thing was that kind of because again it started with the expansion and that's kind of what we started prototyping, and very quickly, like you're saying, right? I mean, there were all these constraints, and I mean constraints are good, but this was really a lot, right?
Yeah.
So it was really trying to design this within the framework of DRG, right? So you'd be on the space rig, you have all these DRG systems. How do they affect this game mode, this new game mode, this rogue light or whatever game mode that DRG would get? So you have, which class do you take? How and so you kind of told me to like try. Forget all that, right?
Yeah.
And so we did an experiment where what would we do with the rogue core if we didn't have to consider DRG whatsoever, right? I mean, we're still using DRG; it's still in the universe, all that stuff, but anything goes, and that was very liberating. That was also created for a better experience.
It made the game instantly better.
Yes.
Like the second we sort of like let go of Deep Rock.
Yeah. And then the other thing on top of that was that kind of. By having this rogue core be its own game, we are able to also not consider, if you like DRG and you bought DRG, and then we put into it this new game mode that is, I mean, the thing is, rogue core doesn't play like DRG. I mean, like yes, the controls are the same and stuff like that, but it is actually a different game, and it's not necessarily like DRG is not something that we can just keep shoving things into. It is its own game. It has an identity, and I think we also need to respect that and maintain it.
Yeah, I mean, as you can hear, we can talk a lot about this, but I mean, we have really been like going over this decision so much, and I think actually in the video on some of the content you have seen today, there is like in the drop pod, there's a terminal where it says BXE.
Yes.
What does this BXE stand for?
Oh, you have to ask Jens Emil.
Oh, that's best expansion ever. And I'm just saying that's where we're coming from.
Yeah.
Now it's standalone.
Now it's a standalone. It's better for it.
We have a new question. So, Das Scrooge over on Twitch asks, what will the runtime of a mission generally be? It seems like there's more to do, so can we expect it to be longer than Deep Rock Galactic?
Yes.
Yes, but also, I mean, so we are playing around, and again, like I said, we're not ready to talk about the greater structure of the game, where different missions, we're calling them runs, just for like to differentiate from DRG missions and stuff like that. But there is space for short, long, very long. I mean, all of these things are currently on the table. We of course have to make decisions on this and figure out what is best for the game. But yeah, I think on average, longer than the average mission.
But then again, the game is also harder, so sometimes you don't get as far.
That's true. Also shorter than the average mission.
And then it's actually shorter than the average mission. So it that depends, right?
Yeah.
But like completing a run.
Yeah.
Will take you anywhere between, I'm just like saying 40 minutes to 1.5 hour. Maybe not as long as 1.5 hour, but potentially we'll see in the future.
I mean, we also had long ones right now. I mean, the run we have right now in the game, right? We have two runs. We have an easy one and a hard one, but they're actually both similar length, and those are running. I mean, and again, depending how fast you run through them.
Yeah.
But you're looking at about 35 to 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. And on that note, maybe you answered this actually, but is it a run can last forever kind of roguelike, or is it the you can actually win kind of roguelike?
Right now, it is a you can win kind of thing. You finish the run, you get to an end. There is a thing. This facility has been reclaimed.
Yeah, and I think we are a little bit again like, I mean, we say this is Deep Rock Galactic with a roguelike spin, and I think we are. Doing with the roguelike genre what we want to.
Yes.
Which means that we are not literally saying that there is one run and it's permadeath and then you have to start over and it's beating that single run. I think we are gonna probably end up with a structure that is more open, with a little bit more, what can you say, experiences of success.
Yes. I mean, I think both of us really like being able to actually succeed and complete instead of and stuff like that, and also kind of the systems that we're using. Like I think the idea of having different runs or different facilities is something that I think the system allows us to do. So I think we definitely want to explore that.
Yeah. But again, this is a bit too early for this. Again, we have mainly been focusing on the in-game, making one run, making progression in one run work.
Exactly.
So the whole meta, the whole structure thing is something that we have a little bit in front of us.
In the future, yeah.
Icepair asks, will the dwarves have the same voices in Rogue Core?
That is our plan right now. Yeah.
All right. Then we got a question from Crash My Car, who asks, what will the price point for Rogue Core be? Will there be a bundle/discount for existing Deep Rock owners?
That is a little bit early for us to talk about. But I don't know. I don't know.
No,
but I mean,
we haven't talked about it.
No, but I mean, it will be comparable to the genre or Deep Rock Galactic, I think, price.
No, yeah, I mean, reasonable, right? I mean, we will of course do our best to make sure that it is reasonably priced for what it is.
Cool. Okay, we have a more gameplay-specific question from Dalava. He asks, will the ammo be more limited? How will resupplying work?
Mm-hmm. That's a good question.
Yeah, so yes, it is more limited right now, especially, again, depending on what you choose. There is, you could say, kind of like, Rogue Core gives a bit more rope to the player, and they have to be careful what they do with that rope. You can get in trouble in regards to ammo. Again, there are also, depending where you take your build, you can also be in a good place regarding to ammo.
So what we do, we don't have nitra in the game like we have in Deep Rock. So instead, we are placing ammo crates in the caves, so you can find ammo as you move through a level in a run. There's also the option that you can skip upgrades and get ammo instead of taking an upgrade.
Yeah, you get a kind of like an ammo bag, an ammo box that you carry with you, and then you can put it down for the team to use.
Yes, so put it on the ground, and everyone can get a bag of ammunition. The same goes with health, right?
Yes.
There are certain categories of upgrades where if you don't pick an upgrade, you can always get health instead.
Yeah, you heal yourself and increase maximum health.
Yeah.
Though there is red sugar.
Red sugar is a part of the game. Yeah.
Okay, Mauro Valente over on YouTube asks, how big of a part will terrain manipulation play in Rogue Core?
It will. I mean, traversing is still a big part of Rogue Core.
Yes, but so a big thing with Rogue Core is that the pacing is a bit different from DRG. So if you're talking about extreme terrain manipulation, where you spend, minutes preparing an area for a battle, that I think, while totally possible in Rogue Core, I mean, all the tools are still there. That would be a pretty a big chunk of time that you as a player use. And so I think, at least while we're playing it, we find ourselves not doing that too much. Doing a little bit, if I have the drills and we need to fight in an area and stuff like that, might make a little more space. Same thing with the platform gun again, watching out for making a better area to fight, but not as extreme as we've been doing.
I think we are basically trying to, I would say, not stress the players, but we are trying to push them forward.
Yes.
In the game, right? And we're doing that by, if you're staying in a level, eventually it's not going to be healthy for us to stick around in that level. So you will need to move on. And so basically how you progress through a run is that when you start, you will have this power cable running from the entrance room through the whole level, and it will run down to an elevator.
Yes.
And that's basically your main goal in a stage, in a run, to get to that elevator.
Yes.
And you have this cable running through the level as a breadcrumb, or and you can just follow that, and then we end up at the elevator, right? But obviously you're not just doing that because you want to mine Expanite, do events, level up.
Yeah,
before
you need to be strong enough
collecting guns or whatnot, right? So you're not just running through the level, or if you are getting behind the power curve, you can say, of the game.
Yeah.
So you really want to level up before you leave. But on the other hand, the game gets more and more dangerous the longer you stay and stick around in a level. Yes. So you definitely also want to keep moving.
Yeah. So again, the Rogue Core is much more about a game where you more so than in DRG, although this also happens in DRG, where you sometimes have to make decisions of like, do we have time to do this, or do we have the ammo to do this? Can we do this? Should we move on? And making the right and wrong decision there can make a big difference, right?
Totally.
So yeah.
Okay, we got a question over from iCobra on YouTube. You guys mentioned that it's roguelike. Could you provide a rough outline of what power we could expect to hold on to between dives? Is it class or account based?
It will. I'm not sure this thing about holding onto powers.
I think he just means permanent progression.
Yeah, so permanent progression. We're gonna have that, and it is gonna be some of the permanent progression. I think will be for all of your classes.
Yeah.
Like again, I'm just using Deep Rock Galactic as a reference here.
Yeah.
Like for example, when you are unlocking perks. The perks you unlock can be used for all your classes, right?
Yeah.
But on the other hand, you're also unlocking the perk slots by leveling up one class, right?
Yes.
So I think we are gonna go for something similar that is both like class-based and is player-based.
Both will be good.
But it could also be tied to progression that was tied to items in the game, maybe.
Again, you're asking a question about something that we are not really ready to talk about. This is something that we are currently in the process of designing, discussing. So yeah, we have not made decisions on this yet.
No.
Paytoff on YouTube asks, do you fear your community mixing and matching terms from both games, leading to confusion for newer players?
Not sure. Do you have an example?
No, I'm thinking with the similarities to Deep Rock Galactic and some of the elements carrying over or being the same, like traversal tools and stuff. Do you expect some sort of confusions between the two games?
I'm not. No, I don't think so. I mean, it's like so you're playing Rogue Core and you think you're playing Deep Rock Galactic, or you're playing Deep Rock Galactic and you think you're playing Rogue Core.
I mean, maybe it means like when people talk about like they talk about the zip line, and you're talking about the zip line in Rogue Core, you're talking about the zip line in DRG. I mean, I have no idea. It's not something we're worried about.
I think it's like talking about an assault rifle and getting confused if it's in Call of Duty or if it's in Halo. I mean, I don't know.
I don't know.
I'm not sure I 100% understand the question, but obviously when we are talking about Rogue Core, we really want to emphasize that we're talking about Rogue Core and not Deep Rock Galactic. So in that regard, yes, we are aware that we try to avoid confusion talking about Rogue Core and making sure that this is not Season 6, this is not Deep Rock Galactic, this is its own thing that we are working on here.
But I mean, also to further just, I mean, we have already set up, although of course right now it's still pretty quiet, but we set up different forums, different places for people to talk about the games, right? So again, because Rogue Core is its own thing, we're not trying to like create a Rogue Core section in the Deep Rock,
and even though I think we are doing a little bit of double communication, but I think if you are out there and you are a fan of Deep Rock Galactic and you were not aware that we were working on Rogue Core, I think you should definitely go in and wishlist Rogue Core on the Steam page, where there's a Steam store already.
Yeah, there's some info there.
Actually, we also we are gonna update the Steam store for Rogue Core with a lot of the assets that you have seen today.
Yes.
It looks a little bit outdated right now, but it will be up to date in the following days, in the coming days.
We have a question from that MF Don't Miss over on Twitch. He asks, wouldn't it cause infighting with randoms on the topic of upgrading and that whole co-op upgrade selection?
Potentially, yes. We are trying again. I think it is something you need to experience.
Yes.
We are Deep Rock Galactic has, I mean, a lot of the reason why the co-op is so good in Deep Rock Galactic is because there's a lot of friction points. And what is being asked about here is, isn't this generating friction points? And the answer is yes, it is generating friction points.
That is the point, though.
And that is the point. The point is that you should care about your fellow reclaimers. What is your teammate? What kind of upgrade is relevant for your teammate? And you should feel, hopefully, you should feel enjoyment about making your teammate more powerful. And sometimes that means that you're giving up on the best of the objectively best of the upgrades and giving it to a friend instead of taking it yourself.
I think you also have to consider what is the point of the upgrading. And the main goal, right? The goal is to beat the run. The goal is to reclaim the facility. And you're not going to reclaim the facility by having a team that doesn't work or by simply making yourself as powerful as you possibly can.
And then you go down and you're and you fail the mission because your teammates are super weak.
Yeah.
That is not a good.
Yeah, but of course, again, like you're saying, this is a friction point that is also what allows for cooperation, that allows for interesting dynamics.
And interesting discussions if you are on a voice chat, right? But even, I mean, that you are actually sitting and talking about, well, I can use this, and this is really good for my build, and or this is really good for your build.
Yeah,
so.
or I mean, and again, like just anecdotally, right? Some situations you have that, I mean, depending on what you're doing with upgrades and the equipment and stuff like that, you may come to a point where, for you, you know, you have maybe 2 upgrades that would work perfectly well with what you're doing, but you have a teammate where only one of these works well for them, right? So then, of course, it makes sense that you take the one that they don't need, even because both work for you. So you go from both players growing in power instead of only one growing in power, right?
But anyways, we have a small like system where you can put a heart on an upgrade you really want.
Yes.
And then your teammates can either honor that heart or they cannot do it, but you can communicate it without voice chat. That I really want this.
Yes.
Okay. Lapis over on YouTube asks, will it be a seasonal live service game like Deep Rock Galactic, or will it be more like a one and done type of game?
So I think that's an impossible question to ask, and that's if we look at Deep Rock Galactic, we never designed Deep Rock Galactic to be a live service game.
No.
It turned out to be a live service game. And we were running it as a live service game.
Yeah,
is running it as a live service game.
Yeah.
But it is not something we were planning. And I think there is, and so I'm not gonna commit to Rogue Core being a live service game, because what is a live service game? Well, it's a lot of mechanics that makes you come back and play the game over and over again. And right now we are spending all our time on just making a fun core game. And not spending time on what will players play in 5 years, right?
No.
So we are not considering or entertaining thoughts about live service games at all. We're just focusing on making the best game out of Rogue Core.
Cool. Gorgolio asks, will there be boss fights in Rogue Core?
Yes. And we are working on a couple of boss fights. It is very difficult, I think, to do boss fights. We have a lot of experience with boss fights from Deep Rock Galactic, and it's always very time-consuming and challenging to do. But it is a roguelike, and obviously we're gonna have boss fights and bosses to beat.
The procedural environment, the way we have it, right, and it brings its own challenges as well. On top of it, we do not have. Anyway, but yes, there will be boss fights.
And on that topic, I guess, Archidoc asks, will it get harder by time or by depth in a mission?
I think both.
Yeah, so exactly. What we're seeing is, well, what we can say is what it is right now, right? Kind of, and here we definitely have difficulty increased by depth. And what we also have is a non-permanent difficulty increase by time. So the difficulty in this specific stage of the facility gets there comes to a point where you have to get out. But then when you come to the next one,
you're good to go.
You again have some time to explore and do stuff. So
I think when you're working on a roguelike, there's always this like balance between playing the game and not immediately as you step into game and you make a misstep that you can foresee. Now I'm never gonna.
It's the end of the world.
I mean, I just quit the game now because I have no chance, right? And I think we want to have a roguelike where you can have like victories, or you can be like make mistakes, but then you can recover from them. So
no, I think it's very important, especially when we look at it in a co-op setting, right? I mean. I think double.
And I think, I don't know, this is it's always very difficult, but again, I'm just emphasizing here that we are making we're doing our own take on what a roguelike is. And maybe the game is, it's going to be harder than Deep Rock, but maybe it's going to be easier than what you are imagining right now a roguelike Deep Rock Galactic will be. I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is there going to be neutral wildlife, considering how hostile this deeper layer seems to be?
So right now there isn't, again, I think for sure there is a question here in terms of what do you call it, the story, the setting that we're building up there. So
what happened in the grey out?
Yeah.
When they lost contact with the mining facilities.
Yes.
So why are there no glyphs? Right. I mean, so yeah, the mystery.
Anyway. Rankater over on Twitch asks, will the gameplay heavily rely on upgrades to keep up with the monsters? For example, how likely is it that players will be able to win a run without taking upgrades? Will it be very difficult or straight up impossible?
Impossible, I would say. We've been amazed by some Deep Rock players how good they really are playing the game, right? Yeah. So we should never say impossible, but I mean, obviously the intent is that it matters that you are upgrading. Otherwise, it is not interesting to upgrade. So yes,
but it is an action game, and therefore, what you can do with the keyboard and mouse plays a big impact, right? Whereas, of course, if it was a purely math-based game, then either yes or no. So here, I mean. How many upgrades you need to do what depends on how good you are.
Okay. Rat Enjoyer asks, will you add cosmetic packs? I love how you implemented this system to the original game, sleek and hidden until the player wants to see them.
I think I think this falls a little bit into the other question about live service game. Yeah. Right now, we are very much focused on just making the best game we can of Rogue Core and not focus so much on cosmetic DLC. So
no. I mean, like. Exactly. That has to come later.
Can you say whether there will be beer in the game?
Most likely, yeah.
I mean, they're dwarves. You might have to do push-ups to get beer, though.
All right, I think we'll do one more question. We have one here from Google Messages who asks, will stages have the chances of having mutators/modifiers on them, like with Deep Rock Galactic and then mutators in missions like low oxygen and low gravity and stuff like that?
And I think we'll also bring in, of course, a lot of new mutators that or warnings, I think, and things, whatever we're gonna call them. But yes, I think that's definitely going to be an important part of the game.
What about cross progression? Can we expect any cross progression between Deep Rock Galactic and Rogue Core?
No, and I think
don't expect it. No,
and don't expect that. And I think this is exactly why we wanted to make a standalone game out of Rogue Core.
Yes.
Because the demand, if it was an expansion for progression and cross progression between these, would have been so high, and we really had a hard time making it make sense.
No, and of course, while I mean, again, Rogue Core is its own game, and we make it to be its own game, and there'll be people that buy Rogue Core that maybe don't want to play Deep Rock Galactic, and that's fine. Of course, we would love for people to play our games and stuff like that, but I mean, I think it'd be annoying. It's like, to unlock this in Rogue Core, you have to go.
I think it is like, I mean, right now we have done a board game and we have done Deep Rock Survivor together with Fun Day, right?
Yeah.
And it's not really like we are worried that because people are playing Deep Rock Survivor, they're not playing Deep Rock Galactic, right? No. I mean, or if they are, fine.
No. Cool. Okay. Last question, guys. Ooh. When are we going to have early access for Rogue Core?
So the plan right now is Q4 25.
Early access Q4, yeah. That's
awesome.
in a year.
That's it for the Q&A, I guess.
And I can throw a little extra bone in there, which is that we are we need to plan for an alpha,
a closed alpha,
for starters. Yeah, that will happen well before Q4.
Yes.
Cool. But was that the last question, Mark?
That was the last one.
Yeah, I think that's it.
All right. But then I hope you enjoyed what you have been seeing and hearing here.
Yes.
And we're just very much looking forward to continue working on Rogue Core and see where it will take us.
Definitely. And of course, I mean, if you have questions about Rogue Core and stuff like that, you could post them on our subreddit, I guess. That would probably be the place where it's easiest to catch it. And I'll go and check.
And I think now we have talked so much about Rogue Core right now, so hopefully this will be sort of like the beginning of us actually being way more active about showing what we're doing and revealing more enemies or more classes or more images from the game and so on.
Yeah. I mean,
so expect that to go up in cadence after today.
Yeah. We also had when we came back from season 5, right? It was a little bit of a rough start because we switched to Unreal 5 for Rogue Core. That went. I mean, it actually went really, really smooth, all things considered. But
yeah,
that was fun.
But all right, thanks for watching, everyone out there.
See you, chat.
Have a nice day.
Thanks for watching, guys. Rock and Stone.
Rock and Stone.
Up.